Greetings. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe. I hope you are enjoying your Saturday afternoon or morning, wherever you're at. I hope you are having a great time, an excellent time. I know when we get done, me and Master, we're going to go out in the heat because it is hella hot here in Atlanta, and we are going to go shoot. He wants to play basketball, so we're gonna get a basketball. We're gonna shoot the basketball around. So once again, everyone, thank you once again for joining. Before we get started, tours Sierra Leone. We are rolling to Sierra Leone, November 20th through December 3rd. November 20th through December 3rd. We are shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. Shout out to O'Shea Duke Dak Jackson. Teach him how to finger roll. No, O'Shea, we don't want that DPH finger roll. We don't want that. Y'all had some good basketball players come out of the Heights, but no, I'm sorry, y'all had some good football players come out of the Heights, but no basketball players. So we good. You can keep that finger roll, okay? You can keep that air DPH finger roll. Don't hit the rim. Don't hit the backboard. Doesn't score. It's just an air ball finger roll. You can keep that, O'Shea. You can keep that. You can keep that. But guys, hit that like button. Make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe. Please visit dynastymir.com. Also visit donfo.africa. Tour Sierra Leone. We are rolling to Sierra Leone November 20th through December 3rd. Again, November 20th through December 3rd. Citizenship is available to those who qualify. Also, Nigeria. We are rolling to Nigeria August 8th through the 17th. Again, August 8th through the 17th, we are rolling to Nigeria. Hit me up for details if you're interested in joining us. Let's see here. What other announcements do we have? Oh, guys, people are asking, Dynas, where do you get your gear from? Where do you get your gear from, guys? It's my gear. So make sure you visit Amir, ILEAMIR. Sorry about that. ILEAMIR.com. Visit ileamir.com and go on there and grab a shirt or two. Again, go on and grab a shirt or two. Because again, people are always asking, Dynas, where do you get your gear from? It's my gear. So make sure you visit ileamir.com and grab not just one shirt, not just two, not just three, not just four. Grab five. Because your auntie need one, your cousin need one, your uncle need one, your brother need one, and then you need one. So, grab about five, everyone. Grab about five. Shout out to Fitzgerald Stevens in the chat room. How the hell can you airball a finger roll? Brandon, ask somebody from the Heights. Here we go. How can you airball a finger roll? Brandon, ask O'Shea. He'll tell you. Ask O'Shea Duke Jackson. He'll definitely tell you and show you and demonstrate how you can airball a layup, a finger roll. Ask O'Shea. There you go. So everyone, people keep asking, Dynas, what are the solutions? What are the solutions, Dynas? You just come on here and you're just always negative and you're condescending and you say this and you say that. What are the solutions, my brother? What are the solutions? Look, I'm not here to reinvent the wheel, but Malcolm X, Cynthia McKinney, Patrice Lumumba, Thomas Sankara, you had all these people, John Henry Clark, you had all these people come before us who gave solutions. And y'all didn't want to listen. The Nation of Islam, even though I don't agree with everything the Nation of Islam says, the Nation of Islam, again, all of these organizations of people came, Marcus Garvey, all these organizations and people came with solutions. You guys rejected it. You guys refused it. So this whole what are the solutions questions and arguments to me now is disingenuous because there's men and women out there. Francis Quest Welsing, there's men, there are women out there who have written books that are this thick on the solutions, but you guys don't want to listen. I've kept it simple. Life insurance, passport, build international relationships, build with like people, build with like people. This is not financial advice. Do your own research, acquire Bitcoin, look to opportunities outside of America. That's what I've been saying. But for some reason, people are still on this. What are the solutions? You've had Ice Cube. Ice Cube said, hey, let's see how we can leverage. Let's see how we can leverage our vote. He had a plan for Black America. It was Black folks who rejected him. Thomas Sankara. It was a Black man who killed Thomas Sankara, who sold out and took out Thomas Sankara. Same thing with Patrice Lumumba. Cynthia McKinney. So this topic came up. So one of the groups I'm in, I'm in on my Facebook, they asked, what happened to Cynthia McKinney? And I responded simply. It was a simple response, easy. Black folks refused to support her. That's what happened. Our leaders, the people who come up with solutions that make the most sense, y'all refuse to support them. That's why I'm tired of the what are the solutions question. I'm tired of it. No, it was Black men too, sent Police Academy. It was Black men too. That's why I'm tired of the what are the solutions questions. When people come on here, what are the solutions? Look, you probably got a bigger library than me. I know you listen to all of our leaders. I know you listen to all, the most important people in our community that came with solutions. Y'all don't want to listen. So I gave the solutions. Those are the solutions. All right, do what you want. But for the most part, you can't save the planet. I'm sorry. You can't save everyone. Again, you can't save everyone. There's only going to be a chosen few. Build with people who have a like mindset and go from there. That's what it is. But again, this Ice Cube situation, it showed me a lot. Again, Ice Cube said, let's leverage our vote and see what we can get for our vote. You guys said no. So what's the point? In fact, I'm about to post that right now. All y'all owe Ice Cube an apology. Hold on. All you guys owe Ice Cube an apology. I'm gonna post that real quick. Give me a second. And then, guys, we're gonna open up the lines early here. Here in a second. We're gonna open up the lines here shortly. Yeah, but Ice Cube, bring back Jim Crow. Listen, I'm gonna put the link in the chat room. I'm interested in hearing your where you're coming from on that. So listen, link is in the chat room. You are more than welcome to call in. You are more than welcome to call in. The amount of outrage that I'm seeing over this Roe versus Wade, the overturning of Roe versus Wade. Shout out to Fitzgerald in the chat room. The amount of outrage I'm seeing. See, that's another thing. When it comes to our community, our priorities are out of line. I'm here in Atlanta. The amount of just black people in general, especially black youth, who are getting murdered on a daily basis is out of control. Out of control here in Atlanta. The amount of black killing, the amount of black death here in America, not just Atlanta, but here in America, out of control. And the thing is, black people, we make up every excuse to justify, almost damn near justify the black on black death here in America. But when it comes to not having the ability or no longer having the right to kill babies, unborn babies, y'all ready to go to war for that. Kales Rain, go ahead.
What's good, man? It seems to me, Amir, the Dynast, that
Yeah, go ahead.
We all know that black people, they really don't want solutions. I've come to the realization that for a while now. You get me? Complain is easy because there's no effort work to really solve the problem. Personally, and I don't mind the scars you wrote on the script, the title, but let's be honest. The reason why black people don't want to seek or really want solutions is because they're comfortable. The only thing will be a solution is there's a greater collapse. That it makes human beings have to react to deal with their problems. When starvation comes to play, once adequate living comes to play, you have to be put in a certain primal state to really buck back and take action. Other than that, all human being needs is
I
food,
don't know,
clothing, and
Kales Rain.
shelter.
I think if and Brandon, he'll come on. I'll bring Brandon on here in a second. I think if the situation gets worse here in America, these folks, Pookie and Ray Ray, gonna go wild. And not only Pookie and Ray Ray, Kales Rain, you don't understand the number of, I would say, murders that are going on here in Atlanta and just America in general, where the women are now setting up these men and having their brothers or their new boyfriends go set up and rob the old boyfriend, having their brothers go set up and kill men they're meeting on. Guys, you got to stay off these dating apps. Men, stay off of Tinder, stay off these dating apps, because these women now are using Tinder. They're using these dating apps to set up and kill these men, and they're finding the Pookie and Ray Ray. And I'm saying, like, it's getting worse. So I think, if this situation gets worse, we go into a recession, you have food shortages, these folks are going to go wild. It's going to be worse. It's not going to be no unity.
Well, Dynast, it's funny you mention that there are some women that will sit there, they will sleep with you, and behind closed doors sleep with, let's say, another dude, and if they feel that you offend them in a certain way, they'll screw their brains to the point where they say, "Yo, listen, I need you to handle something. Can you get rid of this dude?" And this so-called simple gladly take your life over some WAP. Yes, that has happened. Yeah, because let's be honest, dudes will, especially in this system, they'll do anything for coochie. Hell, some of them don't even want to pay for it. They'll sit there one free, and depending on the woman you mess with, she will have that grip on some of these dudes to, like you said, do those type of things to any man, especially the dudes that's doing what they're supposed to be doing, and you find yourself that you're done with this chick and she has ulterior motives, and if you've done it the wrong way, she will put it on another man to handle you and kill two birds with one stone while she's on to the next one, fucking sucking next dude. Yes,
right.
That's a highly possibility.
Right. Brandon, go ahead. Unmute yourself.
Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah, you good. Go ahead.
I won't be like gassed them up. Hey man, Dynast, I had a show last night where I was talking about what was Jim Crow. Is it the return of Jim Crow? Because everybody talking about the Supreme Court upholding the Constitution, which is what they're supposed to do, and putting the power over trivial matters like abortion back in the hands of the state, they're saying that that's the return of Jim Crow. I said last night on my show, I argued, would Jim Crow, the return of Jim Crow, be such a bad thing? Because what did Jim Crow do? It forced black people to work together. We don't understand that our black economy boomed under Jim Crow laws. And Jim Crow laws were not federal laws. They were just state laws that for the most part overwhelmingly impacted the way private businesses interacted with black and white people. Separate but equal. This is why when they segregated the schools, that had to be overturned because schools were federally funded. But when it came to businesses, you had the ability to build your businesses and build businesses that were just as good as white folks' businesses. The only problem with Jim Crow was when you went into a white person's business, you couldn't interact with white people. There had to be separate accommodations, which ultimately, if you got a problem with that, you could have built your own. So we literally went down a list, Dynas, of different institutions and businesses that if we reinstituted Jim Crow, would that be a net win or a net loss for black people? And me, Kala, Gastamuk, and Blue Sox, we all came to the conclusion that if you did reinstitute a Jim Crow type situation in the United States, black people would come out on the winning end of that, because you would see a resurgence of black-owned businesses. We already dominate sports, entertainment. We would be winning. We would at that point have to develop our own sports leagues. White folks would be paying to come watch our sports, right? They'll be coming to watch our people play sports. They'll be coming to watch, our people sing, etc., etc. There's only one solution: working together. And black people do not want to do that. All the people in the audience, what's the solutions? Tell them that they got to be somewhere 3 Saturdays in a row at 7 o'clock to work with black folks. First excuse, they might show up once. Every subsequent Saturday, you will get a new excuse why they can't make it. But guess what? They can find their way to the club every Saturday. They can find their way to church every Sunday. They can find their way to the day party every Friday. But when
So day party Sunday. That's Sunday, Charlie. The day party.
Yes, Sunday. They could do it. But religiously, Dynas, I sometimes wonder, how do people love doing the same thing? I got a friend who go to strip club every Saturday. So it's not the problem of us being able to make it and show up. It's the problem of us not wanting to do that. We want to be radical individualists, and we don't like the results of being that way.
Hustle Smart, go ahead, my brother.
First things first, my brother, salute to your platform. Salute to Brandon again coming on the platform, not sounding as crisp and clear as he do on his platform. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to what you're doing over there in Africa. Shout out to the tours that you're doing and giving people an outlet. But at the same time, when you listen to Brandon talk and you listen to the way I talk, you get what I'm saying? It's like you got 15% of black people to be like, okay, that's right, we need to do something. But you got 85% that call us coons, self-haters, and we don't like black people. So, it's just the dumb logic that we have as black people to say that to talk about the bad that's going on in the black community is hating black people. But to act like it don't exist is to like black people. You get what I'm saying? So even the logic that most black people have when it comes to the situation that we in is dumb from the start. That's why every group of people just be like, you know what? We can't work with them niggas, but we will take their money because they love to spend their money. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to work with that black person. I don't want to work with Latrunda. I don't want to work with Latrunda. She sitting up there snatching something out the air now. She snatching periods out the air now. She on swung the weed from left to right, you know what I'm saying, 30, 40 times. Right when I said her name, she jumping up and down with her leggings on, you know what I'm saying? So, but when you have the black race that's ran by black women, and black women are the right hand of white supremacy, directly or indirectly. You get what I'm saying? It's no way in the world that we'll survive. So I tell it all the time, we're doomed. The only thing that black people are good at is being resilient roaches. That's what we are. We're the type of people that you can lock us in an airtight room with no food, no water, and some type of way we'll survive until the building collapse and few of us get out. You get what I'm saying? That's just how we are. And the other brother that was talking first, Mr. Chu Chaos Rain, he was saying things to the point of that we're comfortable. See, we're comfortable in last place. That's why you got so many FBA, ADOS. They don't want the immigrants to come over here, because at that point, they will get in last place with us, but then they excel over us. See, at that point, we won't have no excuse. So my solution is different from Brandon. Brandon said we got to stick together. We ain't gonna stick together because we don't like each other. You get what I'm saying? We are a group, amalgamation of tribes. The same way in Africa, a lot of the tribes in Africa don't get along. The problem in the United States, you don't know who the black person, what tribe their DNA lineage is connected to. You just know you don't like the person. You don't like the way they look, how they walk. I just don't, you hear black people all the time. I ain't got no reason not to like them. I just don't like them. I just don't fuck with them. I just don't fuck, just something about them. We don't know why we dislike each other. But you know what I'm saying about Africa, at least they can say, well, okay, we from this tribe and, we operate on this. We from that tribe and we don't operate. I mean, I'm not saying that it's right on their end either. I'm just saying that it's some type of way that they can distinguish themselves. You know what I'm saying? We don't. You get what I'm saying? We just don't like each other because it was never set up like that. The breeding grounds of the slave masters with the slave master on the slave plantation was designed for to mix us around so we wouldn't know who we are or know where we come from. We still taking DNA tests. Dinah's just throwing darts in the blind. You know what I'm saying? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm happy that on my mom's side, it came back Sierra Leone, but on my dad's side, it came back people from Spain. So on my dad's side, is the colonizer. On my mama's side, it's the rice picking niggas.
Whoa. Are you a descendant of Christopher Columbus?
Man, all I know is that.
Are you a descendant of Hernando Cortez?
All I know is that, you know what I'm saying, that it say Spain, you know what I'm saying? So, I guess it's the reason why I like spaghetti so much, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Man, you know what? But what I'm saying is, though, that's how mixed up we are as a people. But I'm glad that I take, I'm more pro-black than anything, you know what I'm saying? But for black people to come on this platform, that's why I'm gonna stay on here, because I want to hear people come up here and try to defend the fuck shit that we do as a people. I just want to hear people defend of why we at the bottom. I want people to come up here and try to defend why it's 3 or 4 murders happening in Atlanta every single day. You touched on it a little bit.
Hustle smart. So me and Fitzgerald, we're gonna do a show. I'm not Fitzgerald, Kyla. We're doing a show tonight, and we're gonna address what's going on in Atlanta. Atlanta's out of control right now.
3 or 4 murders every single day. We ain't talking about sexual assaults. We're not talking about armed robberies. We're not talking about drug dealing. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about aggravated assaults. We ain't talking about carjackings. We're talking about straight up murder for black people, and it's the kids that's doing it.
No, it's the kids. It's the
These
kids.
guys are 17, 18. Just the funny part, Dinah, this is how stupid black, and then and see, everybody always come over here and they hate that I talk about women. So let me give y'all something, because y'all don't say no when I talk shit about black men. It is okay, but it just shows you how dumb black men are, to the point that these young black men will go hang out with these people all day, and then at the end of the day, they killing them. Like, how you like, is what I'm saying is that when black people kill each other, it's nothing tactical to it. It's based on emotions. Y'all might been hanging out at the house all day, and somebody said something you like, you to end up killing them. What I'm saying is that three brothers die, one brother go to jail for the rest of his life, and now you got the females setting them up, because that these females, especially in Atlanta, let these simps, let these Marquavius come over there and sleep at their houses. You know, the only thing I give Cynthia G, you know what I'm saying, her retarded dolphin, big forehead looking self, you know what I'm saying, the only thing I give her credit for when she say that these young black men are out here being trash bag bandits, I give her credit on that. Because these dudes, you can see them all the time in Atlanta when they going somewhere. I see it all the time. They pulling out trash bags, going in the house. So
Yeah, but Huff Smart, let me ask you this. I don't remember this amount of murders going on where women were involved, like, hey, setting them up. I don't remember it being, it's like every day this woman met this man on Tinder, got Walmart Tavius to come rob him, set him up, kill him, or this woman got mad at her ex-boyfriend, got her new boyfriend Pookie to come and kill him. Like I don't remember it being at this rate.
It wasn't. You know, one thing about social media, you know what I'm saying, after the hype of social media go down, then what black people do is they be like, well, how can we come up off of it? How can we do our illegal shit? So you got the people on now on social media. I'm talking about broad daylight, Dynasty, out in the opening, talking about bank scams, talking about Navy Federal. You know what I'm saying? This is all over. So you got these women that will put, all you got to do, a woman can look like a bow-legged crawfish mixed with a spoiled catfish in the face. But if she got a fat ass, it will be niggas on there talking about, hey, beautiful, hey, bae, you know what I'm saying? How can I wife you up? Now, she stay in the depth. She stay in the depth of Etheridge Court on the west side, you know what I'm saying, sleeping on a leaky air mattress. But you sit up there talking about how can you pull up in your Challenger to take her out, and and she's surrounded by thugs. You know what I'm saying? She the one cooking the poking beans in the hot dog for these thugs. You know what I'm saying? This way they sit up there and break off. When you walk on the front porch, all you see is tobacco and blunt paper outside. You know what I'm saying? And sun-kissed bottle for they drinking the lean. So now you stupid enough to come over there. You get what I'm saying? And she's setting you up. See, but what only thing that has changed, Dinah, is that the women are not. The women are getting time with it now. See,
yeah, right,
exactly. 4 or 5 years ago, they would just let the female walk. They wouldn't even use.
In fact, Hustle Smart, there was a case I think in Chicago or maybe somewhere in the Midwest where the girl talked her brother into robbing this man she met online. The man killed the brother. She got charged with the murder of her brother.
See, that's the law we need here in Georgia. See, that law is in Chicago and Illinois. That law is in Alabama too. So that the law states is that if you're the reason why somebody else got killed, then you get charged with that murder too. You get a capital murder too. See, we don't have capital murder in Georgia. See, they have capital murder in Texas, and they have capital murder in Alabama, and they got it up there in Illinois, so where you get charged like that. See, I'm gonna be personal with you. I got a cousin, my first cousin's daughter. Her and her friend. This story time, y'all. This is hustle smart story time. Before we pass the mic.
Yeah. Okay. After that, we're gonna pass the mic.
We're gonna pass the mic after this because I'm here for the long haul today. My cousin and her friend, well, my cousin friend knew a guy, and she was messing with the guy, and he had a cousin that stayed with him, roommate shouted. So, he like, hey man, bring another chick, you know what I'm saying? So the girl bring my cousin over there. So, the dude, he's selling weed, and the other cousin that worked. So the guy cousin wanted to get with my cousin, but my cousin didn't like him. So he texts his cousin, was like, hey man, I ain't fucking with her, man. She ain't trying to fuck that bitch. So the girl read the text message, and then her and my cousin called some niggas off of Columbia Drive, off of Glenwood Road, to come over there and rob the niggas. This happened over there at Avalon Gardens, right down from Memorial and Avalon Estates. You know what I'm saying? The girl is in the room with the dude she was with. My cousin was in the living room by herself because the dude that wanted to talk to her, he had left and went to work. My cousin went and opened the door for these niggas to come in there. She go sit in the car. These niggas go in there and rob the dude. They thinking he got a lot of money, but the dude wasn't doing them but flipping an ounce, Diners. He was just flipping an ounce, but you know how black people are. We flex like we got more than what we had. So the dudes, they end up killing. There were 4 dudes that came in the house, in the apartment. So when they went back to the car, they got them go to splitting up the money. And they gave my cousin they only got like $240. This for 6 people. So my cousin go home, I don't say nothing, and then to the sheriff show up at the door. But this is the end result. The end result is my cousin didn't do nothing but get an armed robbery charge. She didn't get a murder charge. So she still got 15. She got 15 years with 10 years to serve. So she got a mandatory 10 years. But if it was a black man, he would have got the 15 years for armed robbery mandatory. So she got 15 do 10, but she didn't get the armed robbery. The other girl, she got 15 do 10 too. But the funny part is she was pregnant by the dude that she set up. So she had her baby in jail, in prison, and the mama of the boy took the baby, and she ain't allowed to see the kids no more. This is how this functions. Just because somebody didn't want to talk to her and called her a bitch, 4 people end up getting life sentences. All the men got life sentences, and the women got 15 years served 10. So that's 6 people that go to prison and 1 dude that died. That's the dysfunction of the black neighborhood, black community for $240 and calling somebody a bitch. And I pass the mic, man.
Moten Gator, go ahead. Moten Gator, unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'm looking for the thing.
Yeah, your connection is real bad, brother. All right, come back on when you're in a better spot. West Max, go ahead.
Hey, what's up? By the way, from Kenya. Right now, I just came from Kenya recently.
Okay.
So, this might sound deviating from what high value Tyrone was talking about, but I think one of the problem with us is we are kind of slow on entrepreneurship. So, I've been to Kenya, Zambia, Ghana, and United States. And what I observed in all those places is we own no shit. Like, we own no shit.
Okay.
So you find even in black neighborhoods over here, it's the Indians or the Chinese owning all stores or even basic things that we could easily open with capital. They're the ones owning all that shit. Now, in same case in Kenya, Zambia, or Ghana, you find it's Lebanese owning hotels, industries and all that. So my question is, do you think going back there will solve economic problems as the way people try to insist? Because, I mean, even in the motherland, we don't know shit. So what do you all think?
It depends where you're at. Because I can tell you right now, Nigeria is the most black, Nigeria and Senegal, the most black-owned, countries I've been to. Like I said, Nigeria, black-owned, just about everything. Hotels, mom and pops.
Now, similar thing I've observed in Atlanta. I mean, yes, I've seen like a huge presence of black entrepreneurship in Atlanta, but still, I kind of feel it's not to the intensity it's supposed to be, considering like the population we have there, the amount of capital the black people over there do have. So I kind of feel, I think we black people are raised to be seekers of employment than always setting to venture out or doing startups. You think
you do have a point there. Uncle Phil, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yo, what's up, Dynas?
What's up, Phil?
Man, it's been a while. How you making it, brother?
Man, everything's good, brother. How are you?
Oh man, I'm all right, man. I was just browsing YouTube, see what y'all was discussing here. And about all this crime. Listen, Houston off the chain too. It's not just Atlanta, bro. I mean, they are running wild out here in Houston, man. Every
Uncle
other day.
Phil, let me ask you this: What do you think it is? Because it's like Atlanta. You said Houston, Atlanta, New York, Chicago, of course. It's just what is it? Like, what's the excuse?
What it is all over the country is that when you had them lockdowns, right, and all the rent moratoriums and all of that. And then when, these landlords, for one, they come back asking for their money. The states was actually hustling and not giving out that money and paying the rent. A lot of these states still got COVID money that they never spent, right? A lot of it. So what's happening, you got a lot of people getting putting out their apartments, right? The economy has had a downturn. You look at the gas prices, look at the food prices, inflation, right? We are, they say, in a technical, on paper, technical recession, but not really a recession. But the real recession is supposed to hit next year. So you're about to start having mass layoffs coming. So it's a combination of things with that. But yeah, it's like it's wild out here in Houston too, man. Every time you look up, somebody trying to steal catalytic converters. That's something else that they big about. People getting home invasions. Road rage, people getting shot on the road. I mean, just some crazy stuff happening right here in Houston. So it's not just Atlanta, bro. That's why I was saying in the comments section, man, just do another lockdown. When they behind with lockdown, let me tell you what happened. You didn't have accidents on the road, crime was down. You know what I'm saying? You had females talking about how do you make rice. They actually had to learn how to cook. They couldn't have to go to the doggone restaurant. You understand what I'm saying? It was an awesome thing when they locked this thing down. It was good. So I said, lock they behind back down. But yeah, man, it's going crazy out here in America, man. That's why, when I got back from South Africa in March, man, me and my wife already been talking about leaving America. But I was like, you know what? I think Johannesburg is where we need to be, because that's my plans. I'm getting out of here, But other people that want to stay here, that's on you. But because this place going to hell in the handbasket, bro. It's going to hell quick. And all the black people I know in my personal life, they say, you know what, man, I finally see what you're talking about, Phil. Like, all black people telling me that now. I see what you're talking about, man. I think I need to get out of here too, because this place going to hell real quick. Look what the Supreme Court been doing. I ain't talking about that Roe v. Wade. I mean, that should have been gone. But the Supreme Court had ruled that if you get locked up, unjustly, like you innocent, right, at the state level, now you can't go to the federal level to get out of prison. So if the state don't let you out on evidence, then now you just stuck. Could you imagine that? Now who will suffer more with that? Black men. Okay. Then the Miranda right thing that just happened. If the cops don't read your Miranda rights, people could sue. Now you can't sue for that no more. This Supreme Court is going very, very dark, and it's going to affect us as black people. So I've been telling Dynas people for years, since 2018, get your passport, have an option to get out. Everybody want to wave the Captain of Black America flag, do you? But when it get bad, see, Dynas, you got a place to go. You can go to Nigeria tomorrow. But when it gets real bad, You know how black folks are. These Negroes will be crying. How do you get out of here? Hey, Dynast, what do I do now? Oh no, I told you like 10
No,
years ago.
listen, I
stuck here.
got places to go to. Nigeria, Sierra Leone. I have residency now in Senegal, so I got places.
See, you prepared. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do my research about South Africa. I think that's where I want to locate. I know you can get the retirement visa for about 4 years. At any age, you can get a retirement visa, right? Even children get a retirement visa. I think you need to do maybe 1 or 2 of them, and you can go ahead on and get your residency. You know, I mean, but it is what it is. I mean, I think Johannesburg just fit very well for my business, and even with my wife's business. But with infrastructure and the way it moves or whatever. So yeah, man, if you smart, you better start looking abroad. I'm not telling you got to go anywhere. I'm just saying that if you want to go to Latin America, whatever, I don't care where you want to go.
And the same thing. I mean, check out Panama.
Yeah.
Remember this China though.
To get residency in Mexico was easy as hell now.
Hey, Uncle
I'm
Phil,
not fooling with Mexico.
Uncle Phil, let me ask you a question before you jump off. Man. Let me like when I heard you speaking about Houston, because Houston and Atlanta is they're like twin brothers or brothers and sisters. You get what I'm saying? So you know, but when you were speaking about what was going on with the economy, it was going on with the lockdown. You was more speaking on far as the people that's working, the people that's driving, you know, you talking about these just people that was living their life, you know what I'm saying? And the economy went down, the jobs being lost. You get what I'm saying? So I understand that. But what's happening in Atlanta and a lot of areas in Houston is for broke black people. You know, it don't affect them none. These the people that get $400, $500, $600, $800, $1,200 in food stamps. These young black men are homeless. You get what I'm saying? They just, you know, they going to sleep. They're sleeping wherever they can sleep at. They sleeping 12, 13 deep in a trap house. You know what I'm saying? They sleeping in Chargers at the QT. You know what I'm saying? They sleeping in their Hellcats in the Walmart parking lots. These people are not affected. They ain't stopped the killing. This killing was still going on during the pandemic. You get what I'm saying? So my question to you is that, you know, the Pookies and Ray Rays and the Husky Hyenas, they're gonna do what they do regardless. Do you think it's gonna be catastrophic when the black people that been living their life as you know, upright citizens, when they fall down and see, well, you know what, I'm not getting nothing out of doing right, I might as well turn to whatever everybody else doing, or to the point that they feel like, you know what, you're not just gonna take nothing from me. I'm not gonna be a victim. You know, I'm just gonna start bust the same way y'all busting in the hood. You know what I'm saying? I'm a bust like that too, because my money ain't as much as I was making. So what I'm saying is, say if a person was working a job, they was making $85,000 a year, and now that job is gone or the hours is gone. Now they only making 40, and they can't take those losses from the Pookies and Ray Rays. Do you see my point, my brother?
Well, if you're talking about the Houston area, Texas, it's no way somebody making $85,000 a year will be living anywhere in close proximity to Pookie and Ray Ray.
Right,
Pookie and Ray Ray can get them unless Pookie and Ray Ray come in a particular area where they at and they on some robbing. But what I will say, because I mean Atlanta's one thing, you know, Houston is another. I would
it's
tell
more
anybody
spread out of Houston.
I would tell anybody that want to move to the Houston, don't stay in Houston. Stay in the surrounding areas, like Pearland is a great place to stay. Sugarland is a great place to stay. I mean, so like there's a bunch of cities around Houston, but if you look at the crime index, even in Houston with a crime man, it's off the chain. But the cities outside of Houston, it's not off the chain like that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a few cities, but Houston, no.
And Phil, sorry to interject. So I'm thinking about moving out of Atlanta, like selling my house, moving outside Atlanta, getting a house in the suburbs, like Fayetteville, Peachtree City, Palmetto, like that way. Then getting out of Atlanta, because these niggas are going wild in Atlanta.
You would be wise to do that, actually. What's that other city? Is Roswell close by you?
You got Roswell.
Yeah, Roswell is expensive. You know what I'm saying? You can go 30, you can go to Conyers, you can go to McDonough, you can go to Douglasville, you know what I'm saying? You can go 40 miles out of Atlanta. It's the same way in Houston, Uncle Phil, that if you go 40 miles out of the center of downtown is better. But black people don't want to migrate. Black people don't want to leave out the center. It's almost like black people want to be in the same roach motel in the inner city, stacked on top of each other, so they can be close to the white man nuts, so they can complain and they can go out here and shake their stinking ass protesting, you know what I'm saying, in front of the police. Because if you go, and that's why if you look at any state, that's why it's always mostly a white person being a Senate or whatever, because that's where all the rural areas at. Now you get in the city part where majority of black people at, you might have a Democratic mayor, you know what I'm saying? But the governor is ran by all of the counties. You get what I'm saying? So when all of the counties 40 miles out of the center of the city is 90% white people, you get what I'm saying? That's where gonna be that run the country, because the mayor runs the city, Uncle Phil, but the governor runs the state.
Well, let me add something about Houston. What also was happening in Houston, I was talking to Brother Derek Muhammad. You know, he's always in the city and he affiliates with the mayor and everything. He told me, because what's happening is white folks are gentrifying these cities. So Third Ward has been traditionally black. Third Ward is getting eaten up with gentrification, right? So in certain parts of Third Ward, you had these different factions of gangs. Well, now they getting pushed out and being pushed into other areas, so now they beefing too. You understand? And once they done with Third Ward, they coming for Fifth Ward too. Because see, the plan what white people are doing is white people are saying, okay, we don't want to be in the suburbs no more. We want to go back to the cities how it used to be before black folks was allowed to move next to white people. Once that happened, well, white folks in the cities, they moved to the suburbs and let black folks be in the cities. Now white folks saying, okay, we coming back to the cities. So if you ever see, I always tell people, you see a Starbucks erect in your neighborhood, if you ever see that Starbucks sign, if you see anything with Amazon, you see any of those places like that, you see little dog tracks and all that stuff, bike trails you never seen before, oh, they coming for your neighborhood. But you know, this is how it is. As black people, we've been in these neighborhoods for I don't know how long. And we have a generation of people that was cool with mediocrity. Not all black people was on that. The people that was cool with mediocrity, they're going to get pushed out. The black people that was on their hard work, you know, on their being diligent, black men and women, they'll be okay. Because at this point, especially the age I am now, I don't feel bad for you. Especially when you my age or older, you had your whole freaking life to get your act together. And now you want to be crying when you're getting pushed out. You should have done something about it.
Uncle Phil, Uncle Phil, my auntie been renting for 30 years. You get what I'm saying? You can't tell her nothing. She act like she owned these apartments that she been at for the last 20, 30 years. It's just some black people would rather rent than own, and that's the weirdest thing to me. They cannot take your neighborhood if you own it. But if you stay on the street where 90% of the people on the street are renting, they don't have to renew your lease. You get what I'm saying? They can just tell you to go. That's the weirdest thing about us, that we like to rent. You know, it's one thing that I say, and it might not be politically correct, but I always try to tell people it's two type of black people. It's rent-a-center niggas and rooms to go niggas. You get what I'm saying? It's black people that can come up with $12 a week for a flat screen TV and a PlayStation 5, and those people, you tell them, okay, pay me every month. They can't come up with a monthly payment, but the pressure of Rent-A-Center telling you that we're gonna pull up on you. We staking out at your house. You see the Rent-A-Center van out there with the pressure on black people, they'll come up with $12 to $25 for a couch that been in 30 people's houses already. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like the same people that can stay in those hotels and those extended stays. They can come up with $289 a week to stay in a extended stay hotel, but they can't buy a house and a mortgage for $900 and $1,200. You get what I'm saying? It's just us as a people. We don't want to take charge. We'll rather be happy employees making a lot of money than owning the business and running everything with the paperwork. We're happy.
I got a question for you. I got a question for you, brothers. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
So my question is this, right? Especially with the example that my brother sent Police Academy gave with that tragedy about the guy losing his life to that nonsense. When people get on these platforms and they say, and I'm not saying that everybody who's African American behaves like that, absolutely not, so not at all. But when people get on these platforms, or the Tariqs and all these people say, yo, these immigrants, man, they don't respect us, they don't want to follow us, and blah blah blah. Why would they? When you move into an inner city and you see that type of behavior, let's be frank, what would you tell your children, to stay around those type of people who behave like that, or to stay away from people who behave like that?
Well, I mean, I don't care where somebody comes from personally. I don't want to be around no criminality. I mean, like my position on that. I mean, whether it's a person that's an immigrant, Black American, or wherever they come from, I don't want to be around criminality. I don't believe no one is better than the other, especially in the Black world. Just my opinion. No one is better than the other. But the brother was earlier that was talking about the females setting dudes up, and I was just talking to one of the brothers this morning. I said that even the mentality, even with a lot of the women, not all, but a good portion, and this goes to all races, not one. The American mentality, especially with the modern female, is just in the toilet. It's in the toilet. And what a lot of brothers are discovering is those brothers that get passports, those who are looking for women, you say it, you get a passport, get your wife overseas, and don't bring her back here. If you want to keep her, don't bring her back
But
here.
brother, what you just said, because what I've always tried to point out, these people, and we know he's problematic, but Tariq and the people who follow him and Dan Calloway, they'll say things about immigrants, particularly African immigrants, saying, man, they think they better and all this other stuff. And look at the example, that y'all gentlemen just gave. And again, we're not saying that every African American is like that, because I lived in the South. Shout out to Alabama, Roll Tide. You understand what I'm saying? But and I saw generations of doctors and families who were lawyers, Black families, and I said, oh, okay, this is done, and this is achieved with African Americans in the United States. But again, when you come from another country and you see that type of behavior and people setting people up, you're gonna tell your kids, don't hang with those people. And unfortunately, you may make a blanket statement, and it's like whenever these guys come on and criticize the immigrants, which they should, right? They should criticize immigrants who come with an attitude that they're better than anybody, because they're not. I'll be the first to say it, right? But they leave out that part. If this is the type of behavior, imagine you coming from Senegal. You a middle-class doctor, you get a visa, you and your family, Dynas, you come from Senegal, and you move in the Clover Town in Texas, or you move in College Park in Atlanta, or you move in Edenwald Projects in the Bronx. And this is the behavior you see. What are you going to tell your kids?
Well, brother, can I respond to that? Well, we need to be careful with that, because criminality is in every group. If you really want me to go there, I'll go there. They just had a Nigerian senator the other day got caught trying to sell the organs of a little boy. Him and his wife got caught in Heathrow Airport.
In the UK, yeah.
Okay, in the UK. Okay, then you want to be real. Pookie and Ray Ray don't go abduct 200 girls like Boko Haram would do. Okay.
No, but what I'm saying is, no, we're not. Again,
no, this is what I'm.
You see, I don't want you to get defensive.
Let the man talk, Gassamont. Let him talk.
My thing is, I always tell both sides, don't act like you some angels, because I do news. I've been doing this for 10 plus years. I know what Pookie and Ray Ray do. I know what happens on the African continent. I know what happens in Caribbean. I know what happens in Latin America. That's my job to know. Nobody no angels around here. So I don't like no side acting like they better. Nobody's better. Now, even when you talk about immigrants coming to the United States, some people say, well, I don't like African immigrants. But if you didn't go to the continent, you would know, and Dynas can attest to this, the U.S. government approves what Africans and Caribbeans come in here. And do you think they're going to allow a Julius Malema to come here to America? Or are they going to let some soft shoeing, shoe shining raccoon come to America? They rather the raccoon come. Now, the only ones they can't vet coming through is the ones coming through the southern border. Now, you may get some riders that come through that way because they couldn't really vet them. But if they're coming through that embassy, you understand what I'm saying? They want the raccoon class. So they come over here immigrants have said that they've told them stay away from Black Americans, whatever. They never tell them stay away from white folks though, but they always say stay away from Black Americans, causing problems. I also said that immigrants made the biggest mistake by separating themselves in America. When I went to South Africa, I asked a brother, I said, how would you feel if 30,000 Black Americans came to Johannesburg and we got in a particular community, we separated ourselves from y'all and didn't really fool with y'all. And then when time come up for elections and all of that, and we are being against y'all and siding with, the parties y'all against or siding with the police, how would y'all feel about that? I say, oh, we wouldn't like that. We'd be pissed off. He said, why would you separate yourself? I say, exactly. I say, well, that's what happens in America. So if
no, but that's not true, brother.
Uncle Phil, that's happening in Africa, like Chinese and Indians.
Westbacks, hold on. But Phil, this is the problem. Like, what community are they supposed to integrate into? So when African immigrants come to America, like, where are they supposed to go? Like, name a black community top to down, from bottom to top, where they can actually integrate to. That's the problem.
You want me to respond to that? It's not about a particular living situation. I would say live in the best location that you could live, of course, with great opportunities, low crime, etc. I'm saying is you need to integrate and assimilate into Black America. I'm not talking about Pookie and Ray Ray and the hood rats, no. But we have the majority of Black people are good people. Okay, you can't tell me all Black people are bad people. That's not true. Get Black friends. Do no different than what I do when I go to different countries. I get Kenyan friends, Ethiopian friends, South African friends. Start learning people.
But brother, Africans are doing that. When you say that, Africans do that all the time. I don't know about Texas, but I know about the East Coast, New York. All the Africans, Dynas has been in New York. Most of the Africans is trying to assimilate as quickly as possible. So I don't know where these people are saying Africans are separating themselves. Can anybody show me where these Africans or Caribbeans are separating themselves? Because I don't see that.
You ever heard of neighborhoods like Little Haiti, different areas in Minnesota with the Somalis? And listen, I got people that's African immigrants that's here, that's my friends, and tell me how they separate and get in these little enclaves. You know what I'm saying?
So again,
that's what they do.
Hold on, guys. But what's wrong with having a little Haiti or a little Somalia or?
No, nothing's wrong with having that. But the deal is, this is the issue now. When Black Americans say, okay, well, we're going to focus on our lineage and X, Y, Z, everybody say that's divisive. That's the issue that I even see with it. I'm like, no, it's not divisive. Either we all Black or we separated. Which one is going to be? Because it can't be divisive, because it's like this. If they become a doctor, a lawyer, something good, oh, I'm Ghanaian American, I'm Ugandan American. But when they do something bad, they don't want to claim Uganda and Ghana then. They want to say they're Black. And so what's happening now is Black folks saying, nah, keep that same image and claim where you come from.
But what about that Nigerian dude who killed that girl in Texas? They called him out for being Nigerian right away, and he disappeared. And I hope they catch him and give him the electric chair. That Nigerian idiot that killed that Black woman in Texas. Out there in Houston, I believe.
In Houston.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That was Dallas.
Okay, Dallas. But Nigerians wasn't saying, oh, yeah, we didn't champion him.
It was Houston.
It was Houston. I know I covered the story.
It was Houston. We didn't champion that dude. Nigerians didn't go online or speak out and say he's one of us. No, but what I'm saying is that no, but what I'm saying is that when you say a little Haiti, or you say the Somalis in Minnesota and all these places, or little Ethiopia in DC, remember those people still aren't the majority where you're going to see African immigrants. Most of the African immigrants are in Houston, Texas, New York, right? That's where you're going to see most of your African immigrants. Now, is there a little Nigeria in Houston, Texas? No, because the Nigerians is assimilated.
Nigerians in America, hold on, sir. The most Nigerians in America are in Houston. The most.
Yeah, but that's what I just said. But there's no little Nigeria.
Hold on. They have their Nigerian communities, and I have no problem with that. My cousin's husband is Nigerian. Good brother. You know what I'm saying? I got Nigerians in my family, literally, okay? I don't got no issue with people being a part of their culture. My issue is we can appreciate the differences, but let's all work together. We shouldn't separate from each other. And let's call it what it is. In the African continent, they separate from each other based on religion, based on different tribes.
But no one's doing that in America. But that's what I'm saying. No Africans is doing that in America. Africans are totally assimilating. You might be able to pick out 5 coons, like that idiot in Detroit or wherever he's from in the Midwest that
brother,
said no more Black History Month. But Africans are totally assimilating.
brother.
Are you saying that they're not?
If you thinking that they are assimilating into what Black America is talking about, that's not really what it is. They are into their communities. They separate themselves into their communities, and I don't have an issue with that. I'll talk
But
to the
they
Ethiopian
don't.
Council.
Hold on, gas him up. Hold on, Phil. What
So
is
using an
Black
anecdote
America?
as an African immigrant, I disagree.
Hold on. So, but Phil, as a collective, Black America, this is what we're talking about. Oh, Roe versus Wade, that's wrong. What else are we talking about? Ice Cube came out. Listen, let's see what we get for our vote. Nah, shut up, Ice Cube. We're gonna cancel you. So, Black America as a collective, we aren't talking about anything progressive. We're not. As a collective.
You want to respond to that?
Go ahead.
Okay, about the Ice Cube thing, I'm with you 100%. I chastise them. I mean, I don't know if people listen to what I say or not. I chastise Black folks all the time politically. I believe, and I've said this before on my platform, most Black folks are politically remedial. They are. They don't know anything about politics. Look at what they do with the Democrat Party. Oh, let's get Donald Trump out. Okay, now you got him out. Look how you living now. I've said that many times. But I'm a firm believer of getting with the people that are the progressive people. Anytime in the Roe v. Wade, any Black person that got sense would know that's a beautiful thing for Black people. That's beautiful because that's killed off so many Black people. Okay. So with that being said, I'm not going to sit here and say that's like me saying, oh, because of certain Black people do this, where they shouldn't join, they shouldn't link up. In America, you need even if I go to whatever African country I go to, I'm going to get with the people and learn what to do, what not to do, what to say, what not to say. I want to learn because I don't even know. I'm not
But
going
Brother
to act
Phil,
like I
can
know
you
it.
show us where Africans have come into this country and not followed African Americans for anything political or economic? Can you show me 5 or 3 tangible things that Africans have done that said we ain't following the African American community?
Where are you from, sir?
I'm asking the question, sir.
No.
Can you give me 3 things?
Because you hold on, because you were acting in a way that I'm not even going. Where you from?
That's not a consequence of the conversation, sir.
No,
I'm trying to
it
understand.
makes sense. So you're gonna
It
say
doesn't
where
make
you
sense.
from?
I'm
You're
not
saying
going to
where you from?
proclaim it. If that's your opinion. Can you answer the question? Can you give me 3 things, sir,
Well,
as to
I
what?
I can't answer a question if you're afraid to admit where you come from.
Then that's
All right,
fine. Then we leave that
hold on,
alone.
gas them up, because being a little emotional. But at the same time, I can understand what both of y'all brothers are saying. But at the same time, he asked you a question, then you answer the question with a question, and that's where the tension comes in. You get what I'm saying? Now, brother Phil, you the big dog. I watch your stuff all the time. You know what I'm saying? I would never tell a brother how to talk or how he should convey his messages. But what I'm just saying, if we can already see the tensions is going up. You know what I'm saying? I would just answer the question and then ask him a question after that. But when somebody asks, it's just the same way if somebody asks me a question and I turn around instead of answering it, I just ask another question. It just looks defensive. I'm just saying. I'm just telling you how it looks. I understand you can do whatever you want to do. Well, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying, if Gassimo would ask me a question, if I got a follow-up question, I would just answer his question and then I would follow up with a question.
Well, the reason why I asked that question to him, because I felt his emotions rising real quick and based on what I was saying. It wasn't just at an even keel. So I know that he's he's first generation immigrant or maybe he came here. So he's going to have a different worldview on what I'm saying versus off the historical process of what we have done as Black Americans in this country. It's not no attacks. It's just saying that I know immigrants of all communities come here to get a bag. They're not coming here to change America. So if he says that I'm from an immigrant background, that's not a attack on him. I just understand where he's coming from at that point when he says from an immigrant, and because he didn't answer it, I'm gonna lean to more. He's toward the immigrant background. But most immigrants in this country, hold on.
Exactly what you're saying.
Hold on. Most immigrants in this country, when they come here, they're not coming here to change America. They're coming here to get a bag. I get it. When people say I'm coming here for a better life, they're not coming here to change Black America. Period. They're not coming here for that. They're coming here to get money, send money back home, build a house, build whatever. And I don't have no issue with that. I have no issue. The only time I take issue, or at least most Black Americans take issue, is when when certain ones, not all, but certain ones get into politics, get into Congress, do things that doesn't, follow the Democrat Party mantra and say, what's going on. But at the same time, Black folk, too, isn't doing what they're supposed to do politically. The CBC, I believe they need to go. All the geriatrics need to go. I get it. But for instance, if Black Americans are talking about reparations, for instance, then that would benefit the Black world, because if Black Americans, let's say, was to get reparations, then it would happen in the Caribbean. I believe it even happened on the African continent. I believe it would happen, reparations. Just like when we fought for rights in the civil rights movement. African countries are still underneath colonialism. When Black Americans had got these civil rights, all these African countries started getting independent at the same time that we got our rights. So whatever happens to us is going to spread throughout the Black world. It's not every immigrant coming over here being against Black people. No, that's not true. But it's certain ones that come up there that start saying things are undermining. And that's the issue. I would never.
But you still haven't given me 3 examples of who is undermined. You keep saying these certain phantom ones. That's all I'm trying to pinpoint.
Well, when I talk about undermining and separating, you get groups like CARICOM, right? And even CARICOM is screwing the Caribbean people here, and even in the Caribbean. They don't really agree reparations, the cash payment reparations, if you read through the list of the Caribbeans and what they do, right? You have certain people that's put up, like Joy Reid. I say certain ones that's put in certain positions to either be a mouthpiece. It's not the rank and file Black immigrant that come in here and just work and do what they got to do for their family. It's just certain ones that put in positions. And it goes back to white supremacy at that. Because white supremacy put people in positions to do certain things and say certain things. Even Black Americans in the boule. There's certain things that's being done. And I'm not about to go through every single example of a person.
Uncle Phil, should I interrupt you? Interject here.
No, hold on, West Max. But Uncle Phil, let me ask you this. Would you say that Black America is Black America's problem? I would say, is Black America the biggest issue to Black America? Not immigrants, not all these other groups. That Black America is the biggest threat to his own self. Would you say that?
I would agree with that wholeheartedly.
Okay.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly. Immigrants don't affect me personally. There's nothing an immigrant can do to affect me. No matter where they come from.
See, Uncle Phil.
Well, let me respond to Dynast. I'm talking about me. I don't work low skill labor. Really the ones that's coming here the most is not African immigrants or Caribbean immigrants. It's actually more people that's Hispanic descent, coming from Guatemala, coming from Honduras, etc. And Biden and the Democrats have allowed those people to flood the country. And the interesting part is, and which is awesome actually, those people, when they get the right to vote, they vote Republican. They don't even vote Democrat. That's like the irony of it. So for me, it's like, for low skill labor, but I'm a firm believer of creating your own business and doing your own thing, right? I'm a firm believer that we need to get out of Babylon. I'm a firm believer. I say let them have it, because it's like this: immigrants are catfished. America's the biggest catfish ever. It's like,
but you still haven't said which Black African immigrants or Caribbean immigrants are doing anything to undermine the African American community on a political or economic level, compared to, for example,
sir. Sorry,
okay, but even politics,
if you're not in if you are speaking against reparations, if you're speaking against anything that Black Americans are talking about, period, Brother
Phil, Black Americans speak against those things.
Yes, Uncle Phil, that's my point. Black Americans speak against reparations. That's what I'm saying. Black Americans.
Candace Owens is not more of a threat than African immigrants. She's speaking against those things more than any Black immigrant.
Tim Scott, the Republican senator.
Caribbean, sir.
She's first generation.
Oh no.
Tim Scott from Caribbean, the senator from South Carolina.
Yeah, come on. She is the vessel. Go ahead. She is the vessel.
I'm sorry. I think my reception was messing up. I just want to say peace to everybody in the chat. It's an honor to be in the chat with Uncle Phil, and I wanted to piggyback off of what he was saying, and I don't want to take too much time, but the brother asked him multiple times what specific immigrants, African immigrants, are undermining Black Americans. Excuse me, and I would say, what's that sister from who's the in Congress from Houston who constantly working against Black Americans? She's a Democrat. She's what is her name? She's from the
Sheila Jackson
Caribbean.
Lee.
Yes, Sheila Jackson Lee. Also, Ilhan Omar. She's not for reparations. This is how I see it. There's a lot of African
Scott.
immigrants and Caribbean descent, people who are in the Coon Black Caucus. They're not foundational Black Americans. They're not from this country, and they're not representing us the way that we should be represented.
Okay,
and that's
okay,
why
but,
I agree.
but
I agree.
I got to interject though. So number one, who voted
Yeah.
for him? Number two, you got Maxine Waters, you got Clyburn, you got the light skinned dude in New Jersey, Booker. So,
Democrat.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's why it's just when it comes to this immigrant issue, Black America's problem, Black America's worst enemy is Black America. Like,
yeah, we understand that. I definitely understand that. But can I finish my thought though? Because I don't want to get thrown off.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So what I was saying is that there's people who come over here, and no one can deny this. I know people are saying, well, who? You know who? Most of the people in the government now, when our government specifically picks, we know that they pick people who are not going to be for uniting with Black Americans, and these are the ones who get elevated in politics and get elevated when they come over here. You know what I'm saying? And they're the ones who are working with the Boule class, the Coon class, our own Coon class. They work together to help white supremacy. And I don't know why it's such a hard thing to realize. There's plenty of people. We know that after a certain date, after the 80s, actually during the 80s is when they started the really dissecting and making sure that they really made sure that a lot of Africans or immigrants who come over here are not going to be for Black Americans. That's the reason why.
How do they do that? How do they do that? How do they make sure that those Africans that's coming over?
What is Cynthia McKinney doing? What is Cynthia McKinney doing? Why is she representing Black Americans and she's not a Black American and she's not for reparations?
No. Actually, no. You didn't hear the question. You didn't hear the question. Hear the question.
She's for HR 40, which is a nothing burger. Which is a nothing burger.
Can't talk at the same time. What I'm saying is,
what I'm saying is that. No, because you jumped in when I was talking.
Can I get the question now? What I'm saying is, you said that the government handpicking Africans that's coming to the United States that are not for Black American issues, and I just asked a simple question: how are they handpicking Africans that want to come over here to America? How are they handpicking which ones are they getting? Are you saying that they're asking them that question? There's
a series of things that goes on. There's a brother on YouTube. He's from I forgot what country he's from. He's from African immigrant who's on YouTube, has a video talking about how they put a chip in him, and he wanted it taken out because he was dealing with immigration. They doing a lot of things. Don't try to act like white supremacists ain't doing
at the embassy they putting chips in Africans.
Come over here.
Well, thank you for telling me, because when I get to Nigeria, I'm gonna make sure that the people don't go to the embassy. So what embassy did he go to?
Microsoft putting in making chips for them to put in Africans to come over here so they can make them into AI robots so they can help them to stop Black
you can
people.
laugh all you want to, but what I'm saying is I didn't make up the story. The brother
that's why when it comes to this immigrants are undermining Black Americans, to me it's laughable.
And we're not saying all immigrants. We're saying there are too many.
It's laughable. Now they're putting chips in them to undermine.
Okay, but see, did I make up the story though? It's on YouTube. You can view it for yourself.
So Idris Elba had a chip put in him when he was on The Wire. Damson Idris had a chip in him when he was on Snowfall.
Ask him. I don't know.
They got that scat pat chip that they put in Africans when they come in. They put it in their goat pepper soup. You know what I'm saying? Mixing the chip with the goat pepper soup and then they eat it.
Well, can I ask you a question? Can I ask a question?
Good
I want
Lord.
to ask one question. Do you think, is this a simple question? Do you think America will allow a strong black revolutionary, even a revolutionary family or families, to come over here that's known to fight against white supremacy, like a Julius
I
Malema?
can answer
Do
that
you think?
question.
Do you think they would allow that?
Okay, I'm gonna answer that question. When I was in Nigeria last year, I had a few people going to the embassy for an interview, and one of the brothers who was going for an interview, very brilliant dude. I mean, this guy could he could build you an engine out of a cardboard box, right? This dude is just real good. Dynasty seen those people. You see them in Nigeria, Dynasty. You go to the markets, they take an iPad thing and they could turn it into something else. Real smart dude. And so he goes for the interview. They gave his wife the visa. They told him no. He tried to go to Abuja. They still told him no. And so, he was about to cry. He couldn't understand. He's like, man, I'm skilled, this. And I explained to him, I said, listen, I'm an American citizen. Do you think the U.S. government would hire me to work in the embassy? Hell no. Because they know that a person like me going to let people like you in. So you guys in America got to start asking, why are they hiring lily white girls from Idaho to work at the embassy in Nigeria or in Senegal or wherever in Africa? The Africans don't control that.
Wait a minute. So basically, you just confirmed what I said. You confirmed that they are.
I didn't say there was a tip. I didn't say that.
And it doesn't matter. Hey, I didn't make up the story. Now I'm just telling you what the brother said. Now listen, what I'm saying is that you confirmed what Uncle Phil said, and you confirmed what I said when I just spoke on how they handpick people. They pick who and choose who they want to come over here. You just confirmed it. Thanks.
Of course, but that ain't Africans. Africans ain't the ones doing that.
We're not saying Africans. I said our government, the U.S. government. That's the point. It's a fact.
Everybody can just go to the embassy and get a visa to
Get
come to America.
citizenship.
Yes, they can't get a visa to America. Yes, they pick and choose. And I'm gonna tell you how it works. This is how it works. You have to usually have a business or some type of connection to Nigeria, a family. But most important part is, especially when it comes to the visa, you have to have like proof that you're bringing in income, or
you can come back. You have to have proof that you're tied to Nigeria. You're tethered to Nigeria.
and you're gonna go back for a lot of people, or it could be for school reasons.
But Diners at the same time, see, Americans don't go through that. Like I'm talking about all Africans go through this, because I remember one girl was telling me about how her family, certain people in her family, was denied or had to wait almost a year to even get approved for a visa. Americans go to anybody's country and just get in like it ain't nothing. We never deny on too many things unless you got something criminal. But I don't agree with that all Africans can't visit America, but we can go to every single country out of the world and we can just get in like it ain't no problem. I think that's wrong.
That's wrong. I agree with that. But the thing about it is, Uncle Phil, I want to call you Dr. Phil, but the American dollar, you know what I'm saying? Every American is looked at as rich to any other country. You get what I'm saying? Like if American, even if American Uncle Phil works at Dollar General, but he get a plane ticket to go to Africa or go to anywhere else, he's looked at just because he's being a Black American, he's looked at as a person with money or some type of way, got some type of resources. Now that's that's how they look at us. Now, when we look at Africans that come to America, we don't actually look at them as they coming over here with a bag. We look at them like they looking for opportunity. So the immigrant mindset is different. So, Black Americans that sit here and got the same access to trade schools, free education. All in Atlanta, I don't know about Houston, my brother, but in Atlanta, all you got to do is keep a C average, and you get the tuition reimbursed. So, we got these same things, and in the African, just like my doctor, Dr. O from Nigeria, he over there in Nigeria doing humanitarian work right now. He in Griffin, Georgia. And he, we can't get mad if they come over here in 6 months and become a doctor when we've been here for 400 years plus out of slavery. I mean, with integration for 60 years, we have these same opportunities. When I go to these trade schools, You know what I'm saying? That it's more immigrants in there than black. This is in Atlanta. It's more immigrants in these trade schools getting these free trades at the junior colleges, getting these free college, and black people just not showing up. But then when we see them excel, you know what I'm saying, and they don't want to share back or think like they want to integrate back with them. That part I don't blame. The only problem I got with FBA, and I am FBA, is that when they sit up there and say that the immigrants are the problem. You get what I'm saying? It's nowhere in the world that 43 million black people, you know what I'm saying, and then only 20 or 30,000 of immigrants can compete. Because I'm a natural born hustler, you know, Phil. I can hear it how you talk. You know what I'm saying? No matter if you're a legit businessman, I can tell a natural born hustler. You know what I'm saying, when I'm talking to them. So we're the type of people that we don't see competition. Matter of fact, we're the type of people, Uncle Phil, that competition make us step our game up. You know what I'm saying? You're running on the side of me. I appreciate you running on the side of me, but let me take my game to another level. A lot of black people don't have that natural ability. A lot of black people just gonna be workers. You get what I'm saying? They're never gonna.
Well,
Not
simply,
that they can open up businesses, is that they don't want to open up business. They'll sit on a job for 30 or 40 years talking about the benefits and how many microwaves in the break room. You know what I'm saying? Before they go open up a business.
Here's my thing. I disagree. Simply.
Hold on, Gaston. Go ahead, George.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, thanks for adding me to the program, Dynast. I've been watching you for years. Good with the African tours. I've been watching your videos. Thanks for adding me. Yeah, I want to bring a perspective because I'm based in the UK. I'm a Nigerian based in the UK, and I wanted to touch on the issue of integration. Because in the UK, for example, you have different groups of black people that migrated, okay? And the thing about migration, because African Americans have not experienced what it is to run or leave your place of your base country, migrating for economic reasons to a so-called first world country, what happens is when you go, you try and hook up with the people that are from where you're coming from, and they tell you what to do, and then the community starts, growing. And before you even leave, you've already known certain things from where you're coming from. For example, in Nigeria, yeah, there's degenerate class. There's the middle class. There's a degenerate class. You don't want to do nothing with them, all right? Because they're the ones who do all the gangbanging, the crime, in the ghettos and all those kind of places. The mindset is already education. If you're a middle class person, you find yourself in the West, you meet your people that are middle class like you from the same country. And then if there are other black people, it's not about, if they're of the same class mindset, you mingle with them. So it's not a situation where you say the whole group. It's a certain category of persons who are not of the same mindset as you. If they're degenerate, whether they're from the Ghanaian community in the UK, the degenerate one, you're not going to mix with them. You mix with the educated one, because trust me, you got gangbangers, you got all those kind of people.
Dennis, I want to respond after he's done. I don't mean cut you off.
You got all those kind of people everywhere in the modern world. So people who are educated class, they want to hang out with each other. But the thing in the educated class, you have people of the coons. You have those idiots that, you know, they feel they're better than everyone else. They have people who are on code and who are educated. So it's not really about, I don't think the immigrants that I don't want to assimilate with African Americans over there. I will tell you from my experience growing up in Lagos, when I put on my TV since 1981, the first thing I'm seeing is different strokes. It's African Americans that start showing us how to be modernized. You see different strokes, Stanford and Son. You see what's it called? All these programs till the 90s, when you start seeing what's it called, Juice, and that's when it starts getting to another tone. It's like, okay, and then everyone is embracing all that kind of thuggery, taking it to the campuses in Nigeria and all this. So then we know that, yes, from watching different strokes, from watching Bill Cosby, and then you now watch those ghetto movies, you know there's two classes of characterization they've already shown you. So you know when you go into United States that when you see the ones in the middle class, black people who are educated, or when you see the ones who are gangbanging, you know you don't want to mix with them. It's not about you don't want to mix with the whole group. You know, I don't think that's what's going on, because trust me, African Americans, as far as my experience and all my friends when I was growing up, that's all we watch on TV. That's all we consume. If there's FUBU, we buy FUBU. If there's academics, we buy academics. When there was Sean John, we bought Sean John. When we were blazing all those party music, gas them up, will tell you. In the 90s, we were Yo MTV raps. We are watching everything. We want to be like that. We want to wear Timberland boots. We want to wear, what's it called? What's this lumberjack shirt? We want to be like Snoop Dogg and all these things.
So actually, I wanted to be like Daddy Shoki. I wanted to be like Baba Fario, but go ahead.
That one, that was all the same generation. Daddy Shoki was trying to be like a West Indian guy. So the thing is that you start watching basketball, you want to be like Amare Stoudemire. You want to be like Sean Kemp. You want to be like Shaquille O'Neal. How did I know all these things? In Lagos, in Nigeria, that's when I knew all these things. There's people that will come with new tapes, So this hate that they think we hate is a lie. It is complete false. Millions of my generation, Lagos, in Enugu, is all African American that we know. But now there's a new change. There's a new wave. There's a new feeling, of let's come together. The old order is gone. Embrace your culture, complement each other, and move forward as a global black race right now, because we know that globally we have been taken advantage of by all races. We didn't play our game geopolitics well from the time of the kingdoms to the colonial till now. So let me just put that in there and let someone else talk. There's a lot.
I want to respond real quick. So quickly, with what the brother is saying, as I've said many times, and Dynast knows, I've told it to Dynast, you go throughout any place in Africa, you go to any barbershop or hair salon, you're going to see pictures of African Americans.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
How did I know?
Exactly.
How did I know MC Light? So posters on my wall in the early 90s.
But here's where I disagree a little bit with you and Simplice, and I agree largely with Simplice on what you guys said. What you guys are showing, what you just showed, is that the mass media does a good job of presenting a certain image of black people in America to the world at large, which black people in America don't have control over. So, of course, they show cops, they show the negative, they show juice, but they don't tell us about, the Harlem Renaissance. And I said this on Dynast Show before, and I'm going to say it again. The Harlem Renaissance, what black people in America, under the oppression that they face, what they created in terms of complexity. When you look at the jazz, when you look at the linguistics, when you look at the writing, it rivals any ancient African civilization in complexity. I will say that and argue with anybody, right? So they don't present that. And I've told this to Dynast as well. In Africa, and I'm sure this brother can contest, in Nigeria, when we take WAEC, they don't teach us about the slave trade. There is no slave trade exam. Nigeria, the history of Nigeria starts at, exactly. They start the history. All we learn in Nigeria is the George McPherson Constitution if you take government. That's because if you're a science student, you don't take government in Nigeria. So the history of slavery, they don't even teach that to us. But I wanted to quickly, hold on, I wanted to address Simplice's point. I don't agree that African Americans are not taking advantage of opportunities, because as an educator, what I would say is this: the history of this country is so insidious and evil, and how grimy these people in power are. Nixon's head of staff admitted, H.R. Adelman, he said this, that the problem is or are the blacks. You just have to target them without them knowing. It is not a coincidence that black people in America had the Nation of Islam, had all these things in the community. You had all these community programs, real community programs, not this 501c3 nonsense, where you had control. The boys weren't on the corner shooting themselves. The girls weren't twerking. Black girls had modesty. They were conservative. Malcolm X even talks about this in his autobiography, right? About how white people were into swingers and all that nonsense. Black people wasn't doing this. It is not a coincidence that black people went from that, and all of a sudden, you got a dropout named Frank Lucas. He thinks he's so smart. He's bringing in drugs in dead bodies as if the U.S. government doesn't know about that. You got Nicky Barnes. It's not a coincidence that Melvin Van Peebles makes blaxploitation movies, and all of a sudden the Afro becomes slick back, and now instead of calling your woman sister, you got to pimp your hoes and bitches. So that's not a coincidence. And they purposely created crack. You know, it's not conspiracy. They admit this. Freeway Rick Ross, they admit what they did. They brought drugs into the community. They start teaching black women, you don't need a man. Starting in the early 70s, they come with this feminism nonsense. They separate the black man from the home. Then most tragically, they took away the black manufacturing and took it to China. Nobody wants to talk about that. The fall of black American economics was the rise of China's growth and power. Because when Nixon visited China, that's when they moved the manufacturing from the inner cities over to China. China didn't just, come out because they're so smart and so brilliant. Nixon gave them the keys to the game. So I don't agree that black people in America don't want to take opportunities. And my last point is this.
Hold on.
I just want to say the last point. I just want to say the last point, brother.
Last point, though, because you just
it's just one sentence, please.
But you said something that I didn't say. You said that I said that African Americans not taking the opportunities. No, that's not what I said, my brother. I understand I agree with everything you just said. What I said was in Atlanta, we got 6 trade schools in Atlanta, and majority of the people in Atlanta are black Americans, but they are filled up with immigrants. It's not black Americans that take it. I'm just talking about in Atlanta.
Okay, my apologies. My apologies.
No, we good.
Okay, my apologies. I was wrong. Okay.
Yeah, and I want to respond.
Yeah, I don't want to put a jacket on you. I don't want to put a jacket on you that's not yours. So my last point is this. My last point is this, and pardon the noise. Let me wind up the windows. Goddamn New York. But my last point is this. When you look at what, because, the brother was saying the immigrants, to be honest, as a so-called son of an immigrant or a child of immigrants, African culture has a lot of control, not just African culture, Chinese, Asian, Indian, Bangladesh, or whatever culture comes with a lot of control and a lot of rules and regulations. If an African were to say, okay, I'm going to assimilate, that would mean they would want to have a lot of control. And based on like Simplice's story, I don't think Africans would be able to implement the type of control in the community intermixing with African Americans in that way. And I'm not trying to say it to step on anybody's toes, not to be disrespectful. I'm not doing that at all. But I'm just trying to point out that African culture comes with a lot of customs, rules, and control. And African American culture used to have that. And I hope that the African American people can hear this message and get back to that, where there's rules, there's consequences, and that way, other people because in the 1960s, when you had the Nation of Islam, immigrants, especially black immigrants, when they came into the inner cities and they came across African Americans, they blended right in because they knew that there was rules and controls, and it was very similar. That was my last point.
Okay. Uncle Phil, were you going to respond?
Yeah. I want to respond about when you're talking about the brothers talking about Atlanta and why immigrants coming in. Well, if you've been to the continent, like I said, and I got to see with my own 2 eyes what struggle look like. When we over here talking about we struggling, that's a freaking lie. We talking about we struggling. We got $1,000 iPhone in our hand, but we struggling. No, when I went to and I don't know if Dynast, did you go to Kibera, Dynast, when you was in Kenya?
I did not. No.
Okay. When I went to Kibera and saw, like, it's just crazy to me how they got that. They literally got Nairobi, beautiful modern city, and then right in the middle you got a slum. Right, but the people was good, man. The people like really showed me something I wasn't even paying attention to just about life, right? So when you get somebody coming out of a place like that, for instance, or just different places in the continent, they come over here to America and like, wait a minute, hold on, I can go to that school for free and I can get that skill. Oh shoot, let me go get that. So they want to hustle a lot more because of the opportunities. And if they make this American dollar, like I said, they can send, you know, let's say in Kenya, $1 right now is like what, 100 and what is it, 104, 106? Because when I send payments to my team in Kenya on the exchange, right? So if you're making some money here, send it back to your family in Kenya, okay, you're doing pretty good. So you not only supporting yourself, you're supporting them. So I get it. But the difference is, I've had some immigrants come over and say, you know what, you have to understand, they didn't grow up with racism. That makes a big difference too. They may have classism, maybe some tribalism or whatever, but they didn't have racism. And racism is so psychological. Like white supremacy is the greatest psychological and spiritual attack that black people deal with all the time. And when you talk about opportunities, think about them people you talking about that want to rent for 30 years. The people that don't want to own a business, they are broken. They're broken. Not to say that they can't get out of it, but most black folks, 2/3 of them, believe that white mommy and daddy is going to take care of you.
Thank you.
And what's coming, and only 1/3 of us in Black America understand they're not. And we got to create businesses. We got to do for self X, Y, Z. This is why they so beholden to the Democrat Party, because they really believe the Democrats is going to help them, and they're not. The Democrats under Biden has been more disrespectful to black folks than I've ever seen. Like Biden came there like, F y'all. He said that you ain't black if you don't vote for me. He didn't give money to the white LGBT. He didn't help out the Asian community. He helped out the Afghanistan people come here, gave them money. He gave Ukrainians all kind of money, you know, coming in, set asides, all of that. Different Hispanic immigrants that come in, he's helping them out, right? Setting them up. And do you know that like the Hispanic community, the Asian community just said that the Democrats ain't done nothing for them? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Yes, they have. But these other groups say Democrats not doing nothing, but black folks still will go out and vote for this group of people. I mean,
But Brother Phil,
will vote for them.
Brother Phil, because somebody earlier said that the immigrant mentality, the Great Migration, was that not a form of immigration when black people left the poverty and the sharecropping in the South and went to the inner cities? No, the reason why I say that is because they got to the inner cities and embraced entrepreneurship.
No, because this is our land, so no, it's not. Immigration is moving to another country. So
no, I said it's a form. I said it's a form. I didn't say it's exactly immigration.
It's not. I see what you're saying, but it's not the same thing, and that's the reason. That's the problem that we have is being compared. Black Americans are constantly being compared to what other groups are. You cannot compare Black Americans to any other group. Dr. Claude Anderson said we are an exceptional people. You can't compare our struggle to anyone else's struggle, and that's the problem. That's what the issue that we have because we're being disrespected. And I want to make a couple of points here. I hope I didn't interrupt you, Brother Phil.
Let me ask you this: disrespected by who?
Disrespected by everyone. And I'm not saying, and when I say everyone, I ain't talking about majority of African immigrants or our brothers in our community that we love. No, because I grew up with African immigrants, a couple of my best friends, Liberia, Nigeria. We grew up like that. So I don't even associate with anyone who's not pro-Black. But don't act like we're not in this racist country, in this white supremacist world, and they're not trying to turn other Africans, other Black people against us. That's what they've been doing. Now, fortunately enough, we know there's a lot of rioting. We never said no. People who are foundational Black American and people who identify with all that, we never say. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, but are we disrespecting each other? Like, I mean, like I said, Black America disrespects its own self more than any other group disrespects us. That's why this argument is just
right.
Yeah.
I just think this argument
those are two separate things. One's a macro issue and one's a micro issue. They both have to be handled. We can't conflate the two.
Okay,
so
let me ask you this. What's the macro issue? Which one's the macro?
The macro issue is the bigger picture. Okay? The bigger picture. And I want to say for right now, if you want to say the macro issue for Black America, of course it's cleaning our own house, but at the same time it's getting reparations, and it's also identifying who is actively sabotaging us. We are being sabotaged, and we're being sabotaged in all directions. We love our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. Yes, we do. And we love the ones who are riders. We ride with them. They ride with us. We're not talking about anybody who's pro-Black, who's on code. We ain't talking about any of those people. We're talking about the ones who are being turned against us.
Well, but that's
And
not what I
I
hear.
want to
What
say
I
one thing.
hear
I'm from
is
Oklahoma City. I'm
rhetoric.
in Oklahoma City.
I just
I'm in
think
Atlanta
that
right now, but I'm from Oklahoma City, and I want to tell you, I grew up. My parents are. My family is Muslim. Okay, my family grew up, came up in the 70s. Whenever the switch happened, with the Nation of Islam, with Imam Murphy Muhammad, Elijah Muhammad's son, taking over in
Salam
the
alaikum, sister.
Walaikum assalam. Walaikum assalam. So what I want to say is that there is our community in Oklahoma City was strong. I grew up in a Black community on the Black side of town, you know what I'm saying? And it was all love. Everybody came to the mosque. It didn't matter if you was Christian, it didn't matter if you were Muslim. Everybody, it was the epicenter of Black culture, the east side of Oklahoma City, the Black side, and everybody was showing love. It was a whole split that happened, and that's in my father who took pictures and is basically the historian for Oklahoma City, showed us what happened. He told me what happened. He said the government came in and started dissension, and our community in Oklahoma City could have been so much greater. We had the Sister Claire Muhammad School, we had discipline. All of us, we grew up together, and then all of a sudden there's all this turmoil going on. We find that there's agents and things of that nature, but we had a strong community, a strong Black community that had discipline, that had modesty, that had all the things that y'all talking about on here. You know what I'm saying?
So is staying in America the solution, or running away from this enslaver?
Hold on, and that's my point. So when I'm hearing from FBA ADOS, this is what I'm hearing. I'm by definition FBA ADOS. I keep bringing this up. At the end of the Civil War, we had the opportunity to leave America and start a nation of our own. We refused to. We wanted to be American. We wanted to be American so bad to the point where we chose to militantly integrate into white society. I mean, our chicken for some reason wasn't good in our communities, so we went to Karen's Diner. Literally, I played the videos on here several times and we caught elbows, knees, feet, fists,
Spit on.
just so we could eat a piece of chicken.
Some white holy pies.
Yeah, just so we could eat a piece of chicken at Karen's Diner.
Dynas, I want to respond to that when you're done.
So my thing is, at the end of the day, Black Americans wanted to integrate into whiteness. So why are we upset when immigrants come over here and they want to do the same thing? I don't get it.
Not all of us did. That's not even the whole picture. Many of us didn't, and many of us still want to separate. So that's not the whole picture. I mean, that's a small fraction of the people who wanted to integrate, the ones that actually made it happen. That's not what we wanted.
It's not a small fraction.
It is a small fraction. It is a small fraction.
It's not a small fraction.
We was rioting and going in and putting white supremacy to the test all through the 60s. People did not want to integrate like that. So
there were some Black people who were doing that. There were many Black people who wanted to integrate. I'm saying
across the nation.
Hold on. Let Lumumba, and then I pass it back to Phil. But Lumumba speaks. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I appreciate the dialogue, the conversation. You allow me to be here with everyone. But it's almost like we're talking past each other. I have a bachelor's and a master's degree in Black studies. I'm about to have a PhD in a year in the same subject. The argument that all the Black people wanted to integrate isn't true. The argument that the majority of Black people were nationalists isn't true. Historically, the majority of Black people were apolitical and simply said, hey, what we're going to do is whatever is convenient. That is a reality. That's a reality. The second issue, because we tend to romanticize what took place. Not everybody was down in the 60s. I have mentors personally who were mentored by Dr. John Henry Claude. Everybody wasn't down. It was a very small segment of the Black community, maybe 5-10%, who was really about that life. If we want to keep it 100. If we want to keep it 100, that's just the reality. The second issue, because I'm doing something with my daughter, I got to get off here, but I want to say this in the conversation we talk about FBA, ADOS, and I'm an African American. So by my lineage, my history, I am FBA, ADOS. I hear a lot of people say, well, immigrants don't come over here and try to make the country better or fight for rights. Typically, when an immigrant comes into a country, they don't do that anywhere. Why? Because they're there by privilege, not by right. And they know if they engage in radical political action, they will more than likely be deported. The second issue is I hear a lot of people saying, well, you see immigrants, African Caribbean immigrants, aligning themselves with white supremacists. We have people in our own community who does the same thing. In any situation, you have white supremacists who would pick members of the oppressed group, pop them up and say, see, there's no racism. This is a global issue.
Oh, the Professor
Kwame Nkrumah once stated.
Well, Professor Lumumba, if I could ask a question.
Yes.
Okay, the amount of immigrants versus the amount of FBA ADOS that partner with white supremacy, would you say is way more ADOS FBA that partners with white supremacy over immigrants?
Absolutely, it's way more FBA. This is just a historical fact. A
historical
who's
the press secretary right now? Who's the press secretary right now? Who's the press secretary right now? And is she FBA?
Oh my goodness!
And another thing, brother, Professor, black women are the number one proponent. They are the guard dogs. They're the guard dogs for the Democrat Party. They are the right hand of white supremacy, directly or indirectly. They hold that title. So Dinah's 1% right. It is way more Black Americans that will turn on Black Americans for white people than it is immigrants. We see it every day.
And I'm
not saying that you didn't say it. I agree. We were talking about the other thing. So what I'm saying is we have that option. And the thing about it, if it's our land, then how you getting your ass whooped on your land? You get what I'm saying? How you getting punked in your own house? You get what I'm saying? So it sounds good to say it's your land, but until you ready if somebody else is on your land and in your house telling you and your kids where they can go, when they can go, if you're on your land and somebody can come in there and snatch you and kill you on your land, it's just in your mind that is your land. It might sound good that is your land, but they're showing you that it ain't your land. They're showing you that. So what I'm saying is if black people ain't willing to die for their land, then it's just gonna be something that sounds good. You get what I'm saying? Because we don't mind killing each other in our own neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? We don't go outside 40 miles. We don't go 40 miles outside the inner city and go killing other people. We stay right there in the inner city killing each other. That's why the Ku Klux Klan don't have to come out and march and do nothing no more. All you gotta do is dump a bunch of guns and a bunch of drugs in front of the black neighborhoods, and they gonna pick it up and do it to each other. They just sit back and they install they councils and they areas, and they just laughing at us. You get what I'm saying? While we still crying, while we still crying and acting like they the one doing everything, but it doesn't matter. I was a part of the 1992, the 1994, the crime bill. I was a part of the cocaine spill in 1988. Yes, they did drop the drugs in the neighborhood. Yes, they did drop the guns in the neighborhood, but it was black people. It was nobody telling black people to get. We could have took those drugs and threw them in the trash. You know what I'm saying? But no, what we did was we picked up the drugs. I'm gonna tell you about me. I picked up them drugs. I found me 10 to 15 black people, you know what I'm saying, that could test them out until I find the rest of people.
And hold on, were they tethers? Were they immigrant tethers?
No, these LBA ADOS.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
These people that I knew from since I was born, that my sisters knew, grandmama knew, auntie they was primed to sit up there and be a test dummy to see how good that I can make this crack. You get what I'm saying? I can turn this powder into crack. So hold on, this last point. I'm gonna let you come in back in. I'm just on your point. I'm gonna let you come back in right after this. What I'm saying is that it doesn't matter what white supremacy do. We're in the age now of technology. You know what I'm saying? If we don't innovate ourselves out of this situation, then we're going 10 years behind every year. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, if we're not going to innovate and compete out of the situation we're in, we might as well go somewhere else where, like Africa, that's undeveloped. You know what I'm saying? If we could come over there and build that up together. If we're not, if black people are not going to compete against companies like Microsoft, if we're not going to compete against the Teslas, if we're not going to compete against the JP Morgans, if we're going to not compete about JL Constructions. You get what I'm saying? We're just living up on the white. We're just living up under here, claiming it's our land by not getting there. Go ahead, Professor.
Yes, and I'm just going to say this, and I appreciate your soliloquy, but there's just a couple of issues I wanted to touch on. Number one, the question of lineage comes up. I'm 10, 12 generations African American. I prefer the term African American as opposed to Black American because during the Holocaust of enslavement, there was a process of de-Africanization and then racialization, in which whiteness was considered the paragon of humanity. So I prefer the term African American. I prefer to identify based on ethnicity rather than race. Second issue is when we talk about FBA, ADOS, immigrant tethers, this is really an Americanized version of tribalism, where we want to compete with other individuals for the scarce resources that are left from white mommy and white daddy's table. The reality of the situation is, it reminds me of a playground, when you're on the playground, and there's somebody bullying everyone. And one of the kids said, I can't beat the bully, so I'm gonna pick a fight with someone I know I can beat. Right, because a lot of the rhetoric, I've even heard rhetoric from African Americans, particularly even Tariq Nasheed, where they're calling immigrants baboons, monkeys, using the same racist type of terminology to talk about Black people that were used about us by that we
Really
were called.
quickly,
So
I'm sorry.
to me,
I've heard Somalians and different Africans say that about us. So what is your point? I can't stand when people try to make these. You're taking a little part of a conversation. I've sat there and been on these Twitter spaces and heard Somalians and different Africans call us all kind of names, nigger and everything. So so what's your point when you talk about?
I'm gonna say this much, and I'm glad that you asked that question, and I could give some balance because you brought that up, and I appreciate you, sister. So this is the reality: we have Black people throughout the world who are going to be no good no matter where they are, who have a pro-white, anti-Black disposition. This is a reality. You have Black people who have a pro-white, anti-Black disposition in Johannesburg, in Australia, and in Los Angeles. What we have to do is say, if you are pro-white, anti-Black, we want nothing to do with you. But if you are pro-Black, anti-everyone else, well, I wouldn't even say anti-everyone else, but just pro-us, then we want to coalesce and see what we could do to build and develop. That's the reality. Because we know this. I've dated sisters who are African American. I've dated women who were Jamaican, South Sudanese, and you see the same issues with Black people no matter where we go. So it only makes sense, as Kwame Nkrumah stated, to work together. Because if we don't, we're simply going to be played against each other like pawns on a chessboard.
Well put. I agree. I just want the community to work together.
Pass it. Go ahead, Uncle Phil. Go ahead.
Well, I want to respond to what Dinah said earlier. If you look at American history after slavery, we had no rights, period. So Lincoln had set it up to send us back to the African continent, to Liberia, actually. And they were paying, was it $600 per Black person that was getting on these boats? And they did so many voyages.
Kyle is an expert on that, but I don't think they.
Well, it's a point I'm bringing up with this. So Black people had no rights at that time period. White people could say, "All y'all Black behinds going back to Africa today." We had no rights, right? Now, after Lincoln set this program up, Lincoln was killed. After Lincoln, they scrapped that program. Now, the question you have to ask is, why white folks, which is the answer to it, will scrap a program to send Black people back to the African continent, back to Liberia, get them on out of here, make this a white utopia, and that's it. Black people has always had a place in this country due to the skills that we had. Remember, coming out of slavery, we did all the building, we did all the agriculture, we did everything. Why would they let Black folks go back to Africa and they didn't know how to do much of anything, these white folks, okay? You look at, you go through Reconstruction and all this situation like that, the Great Compromise that happened. They removed the troops out the South, the Union troops, and then they instituted Jim Crow and all of that. Now you can fast forward even to today, right? Black folks, they are the biggest consumer in America, even today, right? So if let's say if half of black folk would leave America, would just leave, that's half $500 billion gone that they don't want to go. No matter what you say, they don't want us gone. Do you know there's a bill the Republicans are working on to try to stop dual citizenship? Do you know that?
Yeah, but Phil, I feel no one's stopping us from you leaving. There's been a group of African Americans.
Okay, let's go back to American history, Dinus. Let's go back to American history. The Great Migration. I did a whole spiel on the Great Migration. They was suffering okay in the South. They say, you know what? There's opportunities in the North. They was getting information from the Chicago Defender at that time period, and also other brothers and sisters were telling them, hey, come on up here. There's opportunity, there's jobs. You can start businesses, etc. When black people started to leave in mass, do you know those white Southerners went to stop black folks from leaving? Like they would send train tickets to come on up there to Chicago, and the white folks would send the police to stop the trains and make black folks get off. They were stopping the Chicago Defender from coming down to the South so that black folks couldn't find out about what was going on in the North. So this is right here in America. So we are a major economy for everybody.
That's
everybody
right.
Making a big bag off of black America. They don't want us gone like that, Dinus. They really don't. Because I can tell you, at first they used to tell us a lot, go back to Africa, go back to Africa. I don't hear racists saying that no more like they used to, because black folks have been actually going back and say, wait a minute, hold on. They're actually doing it? They're actually happy in Africa now? They're doing trips? You doing trips to Africa? If you go back to Memorandum 46, Dinus, which was put out, they said they was concerned about black folks going back to the African continent, especially black folks. There was a Black Power movement. They said we do not want black American folks of the Black Power movement going to the African continent because they're going to rile them up and mess up our interests. Why do you think they attacked Garvey like that? Because Garvey was trying to get black people out of here.
Yeah, but who's stopping us now, though, Mr. Phil?
Oh, white folks have done enough on us now. They got us. We listen. Hold on, brother. Hold on. You remember on Django when Calvin Candy said, "These are my N-words, and I do with them whatever the hell I want." That's the majority of black America
not around
right
my
now.
niggas. I get you.
That's what he had. They are the majority. I said 2/3. I have no problem saying 2/3 of black America is the white people's N-words, and they ain't going nowhere. They ain't doing nothing or whatever. It's just bottom line. 1/3 of us get it. 2/3 don't. And that's bottom line. So I'm not trying to save the 2/3.
That in percentage for me, bro. Put it in. I understand you keep saying 2/3 because see me, I know you. This is your first time hearing me. See, I say 85%. I say 85% of black people are useless fuck niggas, and they don't deserve to live. And I say only 15% is the ones that can do it. So that's what I do. But it sounds like to you, you're giving it 66-33. That's what you giving it more 66-33.
I'm just telling you based off of things that like this. I did a whole podcast on this. They say 2/3 of black America feel that they're going to be treated better in the future, that racism is going to decrease, that the police is going to decrease, and 1/3 of black people say it'll never decrease. America's never going to get better. America's done for black folk. Done. Just like black folks in California. I don't know what the hell black folks even in California for. California is dead for black America. Dead. And some of them still holding on to that. Why? Come back to the freaking South. If you want to save black America, all black people got to come back to the South. All of you. And then build communities, get politically motivated. Listen, leave Pookie and Ray Ray where you at. Don't bring them. Leave them over there. We don't need the scammers and the drug dealers and the hood rats. Leave them there.
Oh, they ain't gonna stay. They ain't gonna stay.
Do what?
They ain't gonna stay in California because they hungry. They need their family members that got to get jobs. They need.
Hold on, brother. I know why they're not gonna stay, because we got a sickness in black America that we want to defend Pookie and Ray Ray.
There you go.
People who don't commit crimes, who are business owners and good people, will still defend Pookie and Ray Ray and the hood rats. They cuss me out and get mad at me when I say, forget them. I don't care if they go to jail. I don't care anything. All you're doing is destroying the black community. That's all you're doing. You need to go somewhere at this point. What are you doing killing innocent people? I'm watching Pookie and Ray Ray in Houston killing innocent people, single mothers. A story I just covered. A mother of 6 got gunned down by Pookie and Ray Ray on the road, and for what? For nothing. Now these kids ain't got their mama.
They don't even care
with nothing or anything.
Mr. Phil, do you understand that? Because I was locked up, you know what I'm saying, for a while. So what I'm trying to tell you that most of these guys, you know, just for not having a female, but in jail, if you're a part of certain gangs, you live that stress-free lifestyle. I'd never forget, I was locked up with the dude, and I never forget. I'm like, man, why you keep coming back? And he just sat there and told me, he's like, bruh, he said, man, I can function. He said, but I can't keep up with the society. You know what I'm saying? This is what he told me. He said, I can't keep up with the society. He said so, but in jail, he was more comfortable. I mean, this brother used to buff the floors like all night. He used to work third shift janitor. And he used to put 3 or 4 coats on the floor every night. He was just the calmest person in the world, Uncle Phil. But on the streets, he could not keep up with the rat race. Even though, you know, just like black people, we like shiny things, we like shiny stuff. My chains is shiner than yours, Dr. Phil. Uncle Phil. But what I'm saying is that he could not keep up with society. You know what I'm saying? So when he got locked up, he was more at ease. He was telling me that his hair was falling out when he was in the street. But in prison, he got goddamn 2-way caps on. You know what I'm saying? He's sitting there, he's the calmest person in the world. He, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. He ain't getting no trouble. His bed is made up. His boots is shine. His uniform is pressed. But when he's on the streets, he's terrorizing. And that's when I understand that some people mentality, we can't compete in this Babylon. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I say that a lot of our people need to go somewhere else, that we can take what we have learned in the belly of the beast and take it to somewhere and build that up from the ground up. Because a lot of black people, like you say the 2/3 and the 1/3. I just say 18 to 15%. You know what I'm saying? It's 15% of us, like I was telling you, that I don't see no competition. Everybody competition makes me better, but it's the 85% of black people see that and they just balled up in a shell and they get in the corner and be like, okay, white people ain't gonna listen to me. Who the only people that I can oppress? And that's each other. So a lot of times the social norms of how the system is will make black people be like, man, you know what? I'm just gonna stay in my neighborhood and I'm gonna oppress my own people because I can't go out there in their neighborhoods to do it. Right. I can't compete on their level, but I can compete in the black neighborhood because it's easy to do nothing, my brother. What you say about that?
Well, basically what you're describing is someone who's institutionalized. Right. And that phenomenon of being institutionalized is spread to all races. Not because, you know, I've seen how you watch them lockup shows, they get out and like they get PTSD because they don't know how to function in a Walmart. They're so used to just prison life. And that's sad to be like that. And they do something just to go back, you know, and that's just the American, you know, Babylonian system. They got stuff set up like, because really you look at Norway. If I was a president, I would model our prison system off Norway. Their recidivism rate is only 20%. 20. When them people go to jail in Norway, they teach them skills. They teach them things that they need, and then they don't criminalize them outside of jail. Is that they can get a freaking job. Right. They can get a job in this country. Oh, I'm not gonna hire you because you've been to prison. That's a form of discrimination.
It shuts you out.
You gotta sit up here and don't discriminate against a dude in a dress, but you're gonna discriminate against a dude that did his time to society. He did it, right? Why can't he get a job? So they do put brothers back in the situation where they gotta commit crime.
That's right.
That's right. Well said.
See, we hate the. It's like the thing about how, you know, how some people go to Africa, Dr. Phil. I don't know why I want to call you Dr. Phil, man. You know what I'm saying? You need to go and get your doctorate at one of these HBCUs so I can call you doctor. But what I'm saying is that, you know, we romanticize, same way how some black people go to Africa and romanticize and want to kiss that nasty ass dirt when they get off the plane. You know what I'm saying? It's the same way how some black people, even upper level black people, high value black people, I got them in my neighborhood. where you got black people that don't want to go nowhere near back in the neighborhoods where they're from. I mean, they don't do nothing. So you got these black people, all of us making in the high 100,000s or better. All the houses are 300,000 or better. We'll sit up there and have that conversation about how good black people. But when I sit up there and ask them to be like, okay, well, come back to the neighborhood with me. Let's go and talk to these, but let's try to get them to be entrepreneurs. You know what I'm saying? Let's try to let them know when another house is gonna come available. You know what I'm saying? We can let them know and we can put again. They're like, oh, no. We need to, that's where we are in it at. You know, I just like to talk good about black people. I ain't gonna help now one of them, but I'm gonna talk good about them. If somebody say something negative about black people, I'm gonna be like, no. Don't you talk about these good black folks. But when it came down to going back in the neighborhoods to help Uncle Phil, they don't want to help. This is what I'm saying about the 85 and the 15%. The 15% of us that's the higher echelon far as pay, far as how we live, far as investment, far as travel. We're not going back in there and trying to pull nobody up. We'll show up on events. We'll come around and get them bicycles around Christmas time. We're bringing some nasty ass freezer burnt turkeys around Thanksgiving. We'll get some toys for tots. We'll get some backpacks and some book bags. We'll make an extra plate of collard greens and some slave plates, some chitlin juice. You know, get with the potato and we do that. But what I'm saying is when I go to these brothers and sisters that talk good about black people to try to get them to come, because some of these black people in my neighborhood where I live at, these are supervisors. Which I got the guy staying in my neighborhood. He's the regional manager, regional person of the post office. He can get a lot of black people jobs, federal jobs. He don't want to come back and offer them no job. Now I'm in transportation, so I go to the brothers and get them to, you know, get because it's a 24-hour business. But these people that supervisors and whatever, they actually think, Uncle Phil, that helping out a degenerate, what they call them degenerates, going back and helping those people will put a slight on them in their position under the white people. Do you get what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
and it's sad.
Well, I'm gonna say this real quick and I'll be quiet. Black people don't believe in nepotism. Other groups do. I've seen other groups do it all the time. Whites believe in nepotism. Hispanics definitely believe in nepotism. They'll try to get you fired on the job and bring in they brother, they cousin, they uncle. They practice nepotism. Every group practice nepotism, but we don't. Because we say I ain't trying, and it ain't got to be no quote unquote degenerate. They won't help another brother they say, okay, they know the dude is at this particular job, right? Let's say he working at McDonald's. You a supervisor, you can get him in. But like you said, I don't want to bring him in there because you're afraid that brother gonna come in, do a better job than you, and master gonna like that and get you out of the job. That's where that comes from. But other groups don't think like that. So that's that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I want to thanks again, Sir Prince Dinas, for having me on. And High Value Tide, you must be a Kevin Samuels fan. I was on Kevin Samuels' show and talked to him too.
No, I have no idea who that is. Who is that?
Oh well, it's a never know mine at this point. But he on YouTube, or used to be. Uncle Phil makes many valid points. Key valid points. Also, sis, she's the vessel, very valid. And High Value, he hit on a lot of valid points as well. And when it comes to reparations, I'm gonna just touch on that real quick. I took the time to look up and remind us 1783 was the first recorded documented of reparations, asking for a debt to be paid. That's a debt and it needs to be paid because there was money made, there's economies built, so there's a debt still unpaid. And with that question, this is the question I want to ask everybody. Go ask your grandmother, go ask your great grandmother if they still around, or somebody's great grandmother. Do they want their reparations?
That's right.
Did they earn their reparations? Because to this day, even Barack Obama, when he was on the clock, he made sure Israel got their reparations. And Google it for yourself and see how much they got. So there's some debt still unpaid because folks is living good off of that debt. And somehow there's a sector that put in all the hard work and broke their back. They still
how
not
you gonna
paid.
make them pay, how you gonna make them pay that debt though?
Yeah, but this is the issue. When we had the opportunity to demand reparations, we chose integration.
You chose integration.
It all depends on who voted for the integration. Now, to me, when it comes down to it, there's a debt still unpaid. Now, maybe the new generation is going, let's scrap that idea and let's move forward on. For me, I'm like, no, because there's people living, all that DuPonts, Heinz, all the old money is living very well. And they running things off them funds. So, and then there's other people taking the loss because they wasn't the ones having access to those funds. So,
and my grandmother is 96 years old, by the way.
There you go. I
agree with y'all saying that it's a debt to be paid, but what I'm saying is, Mr. I remember you yesterday because you was talking about yoni steaming with garlic butter sauce yesterday. I remember that. You told me that steaming the box. I remember that yesterday. But check it out. What I'm saying is that I owe you money, right? And I tell you, fuck you, get it in blood. What are you gonna come and get it in blood? Or are you just gonna go down for the rest of your life and tell your kids and everybody else and just complain and say, I owe you money? Are you gonna come? If I'm telling you that I'm not gonna just give it to you just for you asking for it, and I'm telling you you're gonna have to get it in blood, then what are your options?
High value tie. What if you Google the 1960s, when I was born? What was they out there doing when they had the water hose on them and the German shepherds on them? Were we not out there making a scene? But
hold on. Let me answer your question. In the 1960s, where they was out there fighting and marching in, so they wouldn't be on the back of a bus, so they could drink at everybody the same water fountain as a white person, so they can go to the diner and get some white only pies, so they can go to these high schools and elementary schools with the same white people. You know what I'm saying? That's what they was fighting for. It was nothing about no reparations. You get what I'm saying? Not one single their reparations. The reparations in the 60s was integration. You get what I'm saying? Now they're talking about reparations, but what I'm telling you is that most black people in the United States, you ask them what FBA is, they don't even know what it is.
Because
you know what I'm saying? Hold on for a second. The what, the why, and the how is irrelevant to the fact that most black people don't know who FBA is. Regardless of why they don't know who it is, most black people don't know what AOS is. This is a movement on the internet, but in everyday life. And I travel all over the United States. You get what I'm saying? I talk to black people all over, every warehouse, and mostly warehouse. That's where all the black people are at. Most black people work warehouse jobs. Most of the females work clerical jobs in the office. They don't know what FBA and ADOS is. So if you got majority of black people that don't even know what ADOS and FBA is, you know what I'm saying? And then you got the few that do. The government play the numbers game. They play the majority game. So they see that the majority of black, especially black females, they're not talking about reparations. They're talking about black girl magic. They're talking about, can I get these abortions? You know what I'm saying? What's in it for black women? But we're talking about we're talking about 80, we're talking about 90, what it is, 92% of black women that supports the Democrat party. These are their issues. Reparation is not on the 92% of black females that vote for the Democratic Party. Is when you put them there, their top 3 issues is, I'm going to give it to you one more time. Is number one, I said that wrong. Number one is student loans. That's the most thing that black women are talking about now, getting their student loans paid for. Number two, they're talking about with the abortion rights. They want to be able to kill babies whenever they want to. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, and number three is what's in it for the black girl magic. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
so the protection. Let me finish. This is this is all I'm saying. So when it comes to the black community, you know what I'm saying, as far as the politics, they leaning towards the black female, which is no problem, because if dudes want to run around and want to chase these chicks with leggings, these weed wearing wild hyena hood rat with tiger claws and eyelashes and wearing paint on their face like they going to war with the Indian tribe, the Chevy Navajos, you know what I'm saying? If that's what they want to do, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is that in their top 10 issues is not reparations. And if that's who the Democrat is listening to, and if those are the people that they're polling, and if reparations is not even in the top 10, then it's just an internet conversation. Don't get me wrong. If somebody cut the check, I would be right in line to get it. But what I'm saying is that the majority rule, and the majority of black people do not even have reparations in the top 10. Go ahead.
Well,
okay.
how about you, Ron?
Go ahead, sister.
You have to remember the generation you speaking to, the generation you are bringing. It's not, anyone that you speaking of 50 and older. You technically you communicating about the young black generation under 50. I'll yield to the sister. Go ahead, sister. Vessel.
Yes,
Sweet
Queen.
Vessel.
Okay. Yes, Queen. Okay, so, and I also want to know about, I wasn't there, so I didn't get to see the conversation about Yoni Steam with garlic butter sauce, so I have to find out about that later. But
they got to throw some shrimp in there too. Go ahead though.
Okay, so it must not be all the way be true. Okay, so
it's true.
What I wanted to say is that we understand, and I guess us on here, and maybe people in the chat, we understand that most of our people are not aware of reparations, and maybe they're not aware of FBA, ADOS, our lineage. That's fine, but we have to do the work and teach them, and I do that everywhere I go. We have to be the mouthpiece. I'm 38 years old.
Salute.
My sister is 30. My brother-in-law is her husband is 30, and we're on the reparations. All of my brothers and sisters who are under 41, we're all on reparations tips. And most of the people I are in our circles, who are doing things, have businesses, making money, on this tip. We are on the reparations tip. So our generation is not lost, and it's going to be our generation combined with the Gen Xers who are going, and our children, because I have 4 children. I have a 5-year-old boy, I have 4-year-old boy, 14-year-old son, and a 16-year-old daughter. Our children are being taught, they're going to be on this, and hopefully we can stop, white supremacy before they grow up. But what I'm saying is that we have to do the work. And we understand that a lot of our women are out here looking crazy. That's one of my biggest pet peeves. But as a business owner, I don't get on social media talking about that like I used to. You see what I'm saying? Because it is kind of, I don't think it's divisive, but I guess, when you're trying to have a business, sometimes it can be divisive, right? But I still, in person, get out there and speak to any young person and everybody I can about reparations, and understanding that, no, I don't even believe that we're just 12% of the population. We are more than that. And that's the mindset that we have to carry. We have to carry that forward. We are not a minority. This is our country. This is our world. And we have to dismantle white supremacy. And we can't constantly have the mindset. I know that we're our biggest problem. But if we don't have to have everybody on board with it. We just have to be strong. You know what I'm saying? I'm thankful for my black warriors, my brothers, and my queen warrior sisters, my husband, and all the other brothers out there who's about that life. You know what I'm saying? We have a lot of people out here who are on that tip, but we can't talk about war online, right? So what I want to say is that we just have to do the work in person, period. We're owed reparations. My grandmother is 96 years old. She picked cotton in Texas, as many other of our people have around this country. We're owed reparations because we're still things are still happening to us that we don't see. Why do we have to start over every generation? Why do we have to? We're gonna be the first millionaires. Well, I'm not the first millionaire. I'm not a millionaire, so I'm not gonna front like that. I'm working towards that, but I'm not the only person in my family who has a million or working towards a million or whatever. You see what I'm saying? I do have people in my family and in my community who are doing those things and who can say that. But why do we have to keep starting over every generation? We can't just sit up there and talk about how we this and we that.
I tell you why, because the average black person doesn't even have a life insurance policy. That's why we're starting over.
Exactly.
Okay, that may be true, and that's true. But we just have to get out there in our prospective fields, and we have to link up, and we got to get off the internet. I mean, I would love to link up with everyone on here. I would love to.
Pay our reparations, and we can all have our insurance. We can have some hefty policies.
No. Hold on, Miss.
I told my mother that today. Pay our reparations, there would be no more abortions in the black community.
Hold on, Miss Steam Yanni with garlic butter sauce. You know what I'm saying? The thing about it is, we don't need no damn reparations to goddamn get no life insurance. If you can afford an iPhone, if you can afford a 36-inch Yaki Peruvian wavy natural body full twist human khaki from India or Malaysia, you know what I'm saying? My life insurance right now is $28 a month. $28 a month. You know what I'm saying? Black people would rather go get a seafood bar. They'd rather go to Juicy Crab and spend $60 for some goddamn seasoned, liquefied crab bar, you know what I'm saying, and won't have life insurance. You get what I'm saying? The thing about it, to even try to put together reparation with life insurance is asinine just on the face. And I know you just said it because I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that life insurance don't cost that much. You know what I'm saying? And we talk about all the things that we do as black people. You got black people right now online on Instagram, Facebook. They will take pictures going to a steakhouse showing how much money the bill is. They'll take pictures and show how much they tip. You get what I'm saying? Black people, we do everything that we want to do to be fresh, to look good. You get what I'm saying? But when it comes to generational wealth, we don't give a damn. You get what I'm saying? That's why you have black people, every time somebody die, they want to go out there to some hot-ass park with some bunch of mosquitoes and flies and want to do a fish fry. We rather dress up. We rather put on some colors. We rather get some T-shirt made, all this stuff, when you can just get a life insurance policy, a basic $50,000 to $75,000. It don't have to be $1 million. It don't have to be a $250,000 like I got from my kids. You know what I'm saying? It can be a basic 50 to 75. If 43 million black people get just a minimum policy of $50,000 to $75,000, we would be whatever. Ain't no damn, we don't need no reparation. If you work or you hustle, you got enough money. If you got enough money to buy some Newport short in the box, you got enough money for life insurance. If you got enough money to go to the beauty supply shop and buy 26-inch Yaki, you got enough money for that. If you got enough money to pay AT&T or T-Mobile for unlimited internet, unlimited text, unlimited Wi-Fi, you got enough for life insurance. Black people, we don't believe in life insurance. We believe in praying, crying, and begging somebody to help us bury our kids. You get what I'm saying? That's the problem.
High value Tide at 18% just heard you possibly, and perhaps we all can go ahead and get that life insurance for $28 a month. You made it clear, and the word is on the street now. And maybe we can put in the hip hop song, and maybe we can get some more to get life insurance instead of them, them sneakers.
What I'm saying, when we talk about solutions, it's like we can't give a solution when black people always trying to find a way to make another problem. It's just the same way if you got $500 in your bank account. If you keep taking out more money than you putting in, you're gonna eventually deplete your funds. You get what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter. So what I'm saying is that we do this thing in the black community that on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, we find a way. We collectively find a way. We get on the phone. We get on the phone with our homeboys. We get on the phone with our homegirls. We get on the phone with our family. We get on the phone with people we just met at the job that we smoked a cigarette out there in the parking lot with. We find a way to spend our money on the weekends.
Okay.
For black people, hold on for a second. Hold on, because I didn't interrupt you. I didn't interrupt you at all. For black people, saving money is not sexy. Spending all your money is sexy in the black community.
You know where that comes from?
Where does it come from?
It comes from a mentality of deprivation. If you have been a slave and you're not allowed to learn how to read, if you caught trying to learn how to read some English words, you're gonna get the beat down, if not worse. So please understand where that mentality comes from.
You're saying black people? So you're saying black people from slavery? Black people gonna continue to be dumb as fuck?
No, it's no excuse to turn out to be your spending habits turn out to be a negative, and you're not able. But when you come from a lack thereof, and you want to, in your lifetime, a human being only has a certain amount of lifetime. And if you always saving, which I'm not against saving, I think saving is very key to building wealth and generational wealth. But you can't, everybody's got to have a little playtime. But I agree, you do have to be mindful when it comes to your spending, instead of being totally consumer minded or in a trending mind, and you just blowing dollar after dollar, and then you have nothing to show for it when it comes to true value like real estate, investments, and things that actually do build wealth, and you can pass that on. But I'm just saying that mentality of consumerism has been sold to us, and also us coming from a lack thereof. We want, folks is just wilding out at this point.
I mean, but what I'm saying is that I came from the bottom. I came from the gutter. Now nobody helped me. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is that I'm not saying that I'm that exception to the rule. I knew plenty of brothers that was like me, that was smart or whatever. It's just that some black people are. It's the same way how some black people like to go to church every Sunday. It's some black people that like to go to the club on Saturday. I got friends that make just as much money as me. They love going to the club every Saturday. I know some black people that some more black people that make just as much as me. They love to go to church on every Sunday. But each one of these places that they go to, they're spending $300 to $400. You got black, especially black women, you know what I'm saying? They throwing their money to the pastor fee. They love a rich nigga reading scriptures. In the same way with men, they love to go to the strip club and watch some chick with bullet holes with 34 tattoos slide her ass cheek through the pole and wipe it down with a handy wipe. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that this is what we see as entertainment. I don't see that. It is nowhere to wear. And I'm not any special than any of the people that I work with. It's just that when they ask me to go out, I be like, no, bro, I'm going home, stacking my bread up. They call me boring. Well, so this is the problem. This is the last part. The problem with black people, we shun people that are conservative with their money, and we praise it. Even if I don't know where you're from, but in Atlanta, they got this thing to where if you're not spending $500 just to sit down, if you're not buying $100 bottles, they'll be like, "What you in here for?" It's like a thing to where they will shun you and talk about you if you don't spend your money. And it's the same thing when you going out with white Jesus. They telling you, it's better to give than receive. They telling you to plant your seed. And I never heard of no dumb shit that they'll tell you, hey, won't you give me 10% of your check and after you die? Hold on, let me say that again, because I know we got like 200 people in the building. They tell you in the church, if you give me money while you alive, Dynast, if you give me your money while you alive, you're going to have a better life after you die. It's better to give than to receive. And the only person that's saying that is the person that's taking all your money to the bank. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that it ain't no black people are not being tricked. Black people like this. That's why you have brothers. That's why in the black community, the entertainers, comedians, and all that, they get all the praises. They get all the females. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the way it is. And the people that are not into that society, you know what I'm saying? You're almost excluded. You get what I'm saying? It's almost like you ain't black. You know what I'm saying? If you're not
high value, you made some valid points, and that's what we're being marketed. That's what the culture is being marketed. So we get what we give. What we put in, that's what we get out of it. So we change the marketing, and maybe some of that'll flip, and they'll be boring and saving their money at home like you, Ty. So at the end of the day, we have to, somehow find a way to change the marketing. It's all marketing.
Yeah, but we can't.
We
can't change no market if they the ones with the media. It's their media. So it doesn't matter. Why would they ever change something that's benefiting them? You get what I'm saying? It doesn't that's the part that behooves me. That they're the ant. The ant has no reason to. The boot has no reason to respect the ant. So if they can get the ant to give away their money, not give away generational wealth, why would they change their marketing strategy? If the ant is stupid enough, dumb enough to keep falling down this path, then that's what they do. You get what I'm saying? And then on top of that, and when the ants produce their own media, we don't even support it. We just had the Black News Network. Dinus, what happened to that?
It wasn't a real net. It wasn't black owned.
I understand that. What I'm saying, I'm on your side. Hold on now. I'm on your side that it wasn't all black owned. But what I'm saying is it was still black faces. It was black voices to the
black
point that hold on for a second. I recognize your
couple of points I gotta make.
It doesn't matter how many points it doesn't matter how many points you got. I didn't interrupt you when you was talking. That just mutual respect. So if you feel like you got a reason to interrupt me, you don't. It'll be the same way when you start talking. I don't give a damn how many points I got. I have no reason to interrupt. I have no reason to interrupt you talking. What you're saying is not more important than what I'm saying, and what I'm saying is not more important than you saying. So therefore, I will not interrupt you when you talking. So back to what I was saying, is that it doesn't matter what they put out for us. It's up to us to pick up the spoon and eat. We can walk away from the plate. We can walk away from it. We walk away from anything else. If somebody come and try to tell us about, hey, we're going to come over here, we want to do this business plan, we want to build this organization where we want to buy some, black people be like, hell no, I ain't going to that. But you tell black people, it's a cookout. It's a cookout going. It's a fish fry. It's gonna be some line dancing. Then they like sign me up. Let me go out there and shake my stinking ass. So black people make the decision all the time what they want to gravitate to, and the choice that they make is what is the detriment to us. But the options are there. We choose the latter. But now I'll pass the mic.
All right. So good. So what I want to say to that is, why don't you start with all your friends? I have a couple points. But why don't you start the revolution? You know what I'm saying? Go on ahead and get all your friends who's spending $500 at the club. Go on ahead and solicit them and say, hey, why don't you give $250? Or why don't you do this or do that? And let's go to the neighborhood and sign some people up for life insurance. That's something you can start now instead of complaining about it for 20 minutes online. You can do that now. That's a solution that you can do now. You can do that. We can do a nationwide life insurance launch where we go to communities and get people signed up for life insurance. How about that? But that does not negate the fact that we're owed reparations, period, and point blank. So I heard you say a few minutes ago that we don't need no reparations. Wrong. We're owed it. And when we get it, because we're fighting for it, you can give your check to my family. How about that? Since you said we don't need it. Anybody who already talking about we don't need reparations, because we all working for it. We all working our butts off every day. Okay, especially where I come from and the people I associate myself with. So if you don't think that we need it, give your check to me and my children. How about that? Because we're going to get it, brother. You could be negative, say we don't need it and this and that. My family and every other family around this country who've been in this country and been enslaved in this country deserve it, and we're owed the debt, period. So stop saying we don't need reparations. Yeah, we need life insurance. So get people signed up. How about that? I was a life insurance agent. I can go help. How about that? We can stop that conversation right now, but we gonna get our reparations.
Oh, well, let me know. Let me know when you get it.
Okay, hey guys, what we're gonna do?
Sign up people for life insurance. Let's go sign up people for life insurance because you use that whole argument. We can do that.
Hey, that is. Hold on before you say that, because this is one thing that this is the one thing that females do that most men hate. See, you took when I said we don't need reparation and you cut out the other end. No, that lady said when we give us reparations and we can go buy some life insurance. What I say, and I appreciate you being disingenuous, because that just shows how most black women are. You get what I'm saying? What I said, hold on, no. Nobody interrupt you when you gave me all these suggestions and all that. So just calm down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is calm down and since you misspoke what I said, let me tell it to you again, and maybe you can cut off your nigger ears and listen to your comprehension ears. What I said is that What I said is that black people don't need reparations to buy life insurance. Is that what I said, Dynas?
You still?
No. Hold on. See, listen, nobody interrupt you when you was talking, giving me all these suggestions. Nobody interrupted you. Nobody interrupted you when you was talking. You gave me all these suggestions. When you gave me all these suggestions, what I should be doing and what somebody else can do. When you misspoke, you sat up there and made a whole rant about I said that we don't need reparations. When my exact words, word for word, is we do not need reparations to buy life insurance. You can get life insurance for $28 to $50 on the low end, $28, $50. That's what I said. Even I said in that statement, Dynas, if they were giving out reparation checks, I would want it. So the point of it, that how you try to just push that narrative to say that you took what I said out of, and you didn't even take what I said out of context. You just took the first three letters, and it's amazing how black women do this all the time. They'll take the three words that you said, Dynas, and then don't even put the other 20 words that you said after that to make the point. But they'll say them first three words to make it seem like you said something that you didn't say. You know what I'm saying? And that's the sad part about it. That's the sad part about us. That's the sad part about us as a people, because it is no way in the world that I will repeat. If you said something, I turn around and repeat back what you said, and I only said half of what you said. If I could repeat your words back word for word, I would shut my damn mouth. And that's what you should have did. But no, you didn't do that. No, you didn't do that. What you did was what most black women do, and that they take black men words out of context to fit their feminist agendas.
We're about to end the show. Hey, everyone,
appreciate that, man.
No problem. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, and subscribe. Me and Kyle will be on around 8 o'clock, 8:30 tonight. Until next time, family, Dynas, and search for Huru.
She gone. We gone.